Hello, everybody, and welcome into Cox Mill High School as we bring you the Statesville Owls taking on the Lake Norman Copperheads, the first out-of-conference game for the Copperheads so far this year, as we join you on this beautiful Friday afternoon. My name is David Katzenmaier, accompanied by Zane Metz today as Connor Pfizer gets things started on the mound for the Lake Norman Copperheads.
Yeah, Pfizer, normally position player tonight on the mound for the Copperheads. I was talking to manager Sean Stevens earlier, and he said one thing that had Pfizer on the mound tonight is that doubleheader looming tomorrow in SCBL action and trying to save some arms for the games that really matter for the standings.
First pitch he had was a strike, and that one's a fastball down in the dirt. His foe here is the leadoff batter for the Owls, number 41 shortstop Alec Yunt. As he digs in, both these squads coming into this game standing at 7-4, and that one's hit deep out towards left center. Looks to be playable. Backing under it and making the play is Ivan Zambrano for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and Pfizer's not like a guy that he can't pitch. He pitched 2 scoreless innings against the Mooresville Spinners earlier this year, so obviously it's shown that he has an arm up on the mound.
Yeah, the Spinners, a team that started off a bit cold. Copperheads got the first 2 in their meetings, but the Spinners heating up as of recent, tied with the Copperheads at the top of the SCBL standings right now. But this one, just a tune-up games for both these squads as they're looking to have some fun here on this Friday night. The Copperheads looking to get things back in a groove here at home as they'll play the Kingsmen in a doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have that one live on YouTube as well. And the Owls playing some indie ball, just going around having some fun this summer, playing anybody that they can get some competition. There's a grounder straight to the shortstop, firing over to first. A high throw, and off the bag was Jackson Taylor. Jake Tanner sorted a little bit with the speedy Barnett on the base paths. So runner will advance on a throwing error on a short hopper to the shortstop. So with the left fielder, Sion Barnett, standing over on first base, that brings up number 25, the extra hitter, Landon Dupert. Dupert, the first lefty that we're seeing here tonight. As Pfizer works out of the stretch. Everybody's shaded pretty typically, and that one is fouled off over the third base dugout out of play. You won't see too many shifts unless these guys have a lot of scouting. But most times, just pretty straight-up defense here in the SCBL.
Yeah, I think I've only seen 1 shift so far this season, and that was in our last doubleheader we had last weekend against the A's.
Fastball just misses high for Pfizer. Count moves to 1-1.
And Pfizer seemingly good velocity so far at a position player. Can definitely throw it in there.
Looking to be, looks like high 70s, low 80s from up here. Could be a little bit different on the speed down there.
Yeah.
As looking to see if any of the players have the gun out. They normally have it for some of their pitchers, but possibly because he's a position player, doesn't need the radar as much. But like we said, he's out on the mound tonight as a tune-up game in a way to keep some arms for the pitchers. He'll throw that one back. Barnett will be back safe at first base. Count stands at 2-1 here. 1 runner on first base. Gives the nod to Astudillo, and that's a fastball that misses outside and high. Count now moves to 3-1. So the Owls taking advantage of the extra hitter position, which is something that the SCBL does to help get some players some more batting time, some more promotion. That way their college coaches can see it. The Copperheads do not have an extra hitter as that one misses just outside. That fastball missed there. Three different fastballs about the exact same spot, so a reach on error and a walk now for the Owls, and they've got something brewing here with 1 out in the top of the first.
And when you're talking about Astudillo earlier, one of the positions that we're seeing position battles at is catcher, as we've seen 3 different catchers battle it out. And Astudillo getting the nod behind the plate tonight. And batting-wise, he's great at drawing walks, 6 walks and only 11 plate appearances, as we see that one fouled off in the netting.
Yeah, the cleanup hitter, the DH, Scott Metzler, digging in from the right side for the Owls. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of selection of pitches here from Pfizer, mainly sticking to that fastball. He'll look back towards second. Now he'll fire home. That one misses on the outside part of the plate. 1-1. So the Owls have chased on the first pitch so far, and they've kind of laid back ever since, trying to see Pfizer out, letting him make the mistakes instead of them. Metzler with that open batting stance. Now the fastball home, and that one is fouled off over the screen onto the softball field here behind us. The 1-2 now to Metzler. Kick and delivery. That one's outside. Looked to be an off-speed pitch. Pfizer, a little bit of frustration there. Thought he might have had one, but sneaks just a little outside on what looked to be a changeup. Count evens up at 2-2. Pfizer, a faster working pitcher here, as that one is fouled down the first base line. Looks to be in play. Shading over and making the catch is the first baseman Jackson Taylor as they retire the second out of the inning.
We saw Simon Barnett there almost try to go and then decided not to. We saw the arm from the first baseman.
So that'll bring up the 5-hole hitter, the catcher Gage Tomlin, as he will be the fourth righty to bat for the Owls. First pitch to him is a fastball that misses high, 1-0.
Now batting, catcher Gage Tomlin.
So we'll try to get some stats for these Owls as the night goes on. Having a bit of service issues here at the moment, so we do not have their stats. That one fouled down the first base line out of play. Count even at 1-1. The Owls looking to see if they can strike early here against the Copperheads. And one thing you were saying when you were down talking to some of the coaching staff of the Copperheads was tonight was going to be a night for some of the batters to kind of get some more reps for guys who don't normally play. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, when he was talking to me, the two things that he said was position battles, those being all the outfield really, middle infield and catcher, and then getting guys that haven't started as much this season, getting them reps, you know, being able to get some real play time and see if they can fill in those positions.
Copperheads hunting for the Southern Collegiate Baseball League title this year. As the 1-1 gets away from Astudillo, both runners will move up with ease. Rounding hard was Barnett over at third, but he'll make his way back. He stands 90 feet away. So now an even more dangerous position for the catcher, Gage Tomlin. Even count at 2-2, 2 outs. Runners advanced on a throwing error and a walk. This will put into play. Shading over and unable to make the play as it looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication. One run's going to come into score, and 2 runs are going to come into score as there was no throw from the right fielder, James Oman. I'm not sure what happened over there.
Looked like Oman just got up and was ready to throw before he had the baseball in his glove.
So 2 runs come into score on the single, and it looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication there between the first baseman, Jackson Taylor, and the second baseman, Jack Will, as it looked like Taylor was going to be able to get a glove on that, but ultimately let the ball roll past as he thought that Will was behind him. Nevertheless, 2 runs come into score as a first pitch flare out towards right, and just foul. Chasing over was James Oman, and if that would have fallen, that probably would have scored the run standing on first base as Tomlin was gunning it around second. So a long foul ball leads the count to 0-1. Still 2 outs here as Pfizer trying to work out of a man on first base. That fastball's drilled into the gap. Out in right center. Runner will advance to third base. Throw will not be in time, just off the mark. And so now back-to-back singles for the Owls as they look to strike even more here in the top of the first inning. The right fielder, Sean Seal, will dig in for Statesville.
Now batting the right fielder, number 38, Sean Seal.
Batting 7th in the order. Looking to bring home another set of runs. First pitch from Pfizer as that one is clobbered out towards left center. Tracing back, looking up and over the wall. Zambrano ran out of room in left field, and that's a 3-run shot for the Owls as they get on the board early and often here in the top of the first inning. 6-0 already.
Yeah, the Catawba Valley Community College product right there, just blasting that one into the left center field gap and gives them early lead, a big lead early.
And you could tell that was going off the bat. There's a certain pop these wood bats have when you catch them off the barrel, and man, do they look good flying over the fence.
Especially when you maybe have to poke it only 335, 345 out there in that gap.
Yep. This field is not a long field. 315 to the corners and 355 out towards center. Ground ball over towards the third baseman, and he soars that one. Owen Wilson lost a grip on the baseball there, and the Copperheads cannot get out of the top part of this inning. It's 2 errors now on Lake Norman. So another reach on error there for Jack Weaver.
First baseman, number 9.
That brings up the first baseman, Bryson Beber.
And that's unfortunate for Pfizer. If maybe you had those 2 errors, this might be only a 1 or 2 run inning, but now it just keeps going. Especially you have to help your pitcher out when he doesn't have that much pitching experience on the mound.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. They wouldn't actually be in this situation. They would have only given up 1 or 2 runs because that one error would have accounted for the third out, but instead they rolled on with 2. Standing on deck in the 10 hole is the second baseman, Cam Graham, as the Owls are utilizing that extra hitter here tonight. Pfizer gives the nod to Astudillo. Now he'll kick home, swing and a miss. Strike 3 as Bryson Beber goes down, but the Owls strike heavy in the first inning. 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the first as the Copperheads look to get back some of the deficit that they have found themselves in here in the top of the first. We'll be right back with you here for the bottom of the first inning. Welcome back as we get things started in the bottom of the first inning. On the bump tonight for the Owls is Carlos Reynoso, sporting the number 40 tonight. First batter will be Owen Wilson, the third baseman for the Copperheads, as the first pitch is a fastball missing outside, 1-0.
Now Reynoso, the 6', 185, is a product out of St. Andrews College. And coming in here, also plays a little bit of outfield this season so far for the Owls.
That one back up the middle off the leg of Reynoso. Hard play down at third base, and will not be in time. Reaching on the infield single is going to be Owen Wilson, and we'll have head coach for the Owls come out and make sure that Reynoso's okay. That was a hard hit ball drilled right off his right shin. So
scary anytime a ball coming that fast comes back at the pitcher, even if it doesn't hit him.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hit him or barely hits him. It doesn't matter where it hits him. It's always scary. So
yeah.
He'll have a bruise in the morning, but nevertheless, the Copperheads have their leadoff man on. Number 15, Jackson Taylor, will be batting next. Reynoso going to get a few pitches to make sure he's feeling okay. So he deems one is all he needs, as Reynoso will dig into the left side of the batter's box. And we will get play back rolling here at Cox Mill High School.
Yeah, Owen Wilson already won stolen base so far this season, so we'll see if he decides to use his legs again and get a runner in scoring position early on.
First pitch to Taylor is a fastball. The good bit of two-seam movement on it that strikes the middle of the plate, 1-0. Or 0-1, excuse me. Taylor holding that bat high towards his head. That's a breaking ball that misses outside. Count evens up at 1-1.
And I feel like if you're the Copperheads here, you're just trying to get maybe 1, 2, 3 runs back, get back into this ball game, and feel like you can get back into this game in just one swing of the bat if you get enough guys on.
The lefty-on-lefty matchup here. Reynoso, another fastball. That one misses down low. So Taylor moves ahead in the count 2-1 now. So 5 runs come across in the top of the first for the Owls. Copperheads looking to chip back at that as best they can. Reynoso gives a look over towards first, now kicks home. Fastball inside is fouled off towards the Copperhead dugout. The count will even up at 2-2. Sitting around 90 degrees here in Concord tonight. Not too many clouds in the sky as sun setting over from the left side, shading down the third base line, so shadows will start to creep over a little bit. The 2-2 from Reynoso, as that was a breaking pitch that had a good bit of movement on it, but it went the wrong way, missing outside. Count now loads to full.
Yeah, really good cutter right there, just couldn't paint the outside part of the plate.
Wilson shading just off first base. Now here's the full count pitch from Reynoso, and turning on it was Taylor, but it's just going to be just foul down the line. So the count remains at 3-2. Working out of the stretch. Reynoso gives the nod. The kick and the delivery, that one put in play. Awkward situation, but being able to make the play is Cam Graham as he flips it to Bryson Beber for the first down of the inning. Wilson moves up to second base. So the Copperheads with a runner in scoring position, but one man down as Jeremiah Guzman, the DH, gets ready to dig in.
Yeah, we see a little mountain visit right here. Jeremiah Guzman so far in the SCBL season. 20 at-bats with a .250 average, 5 hits, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. And he had 2 RBIs against last time he played against the Spinners.
So Guzman feeling the bat recently. As Gage Tomlin, the man behind the dish tonight for the Owls, who's had a couple trips to go make sure that Carlos Reynoso and him were on the same page. First offering to Guzman is a fastball that's popped up into right field. Under it and able to make the play is Sean Seal. Runner looking to advance, sliding in safe is Wilson, and now he stands 90 feet away, looking to represent the Copperheads' first run. So with 2 away in the inning, Dario Astudillo, the catcher, will be up for the Copperheads. So Astudillo getting that cleanup spot.
Yeah, when you're looking at Astudillo's average, you might think it's not the best in the world of 200, but in 11 plate appearances, has 6 walks, so obviously has a great eye and be able to fend off pitches and take ball 4.
Only thing that I'd worry about him is the strikeout rate when he does get behind in the count. First pitch fastball misses. 1-0 from Reynoso. The kick and delivery on the 1-0. And that's a breaking pitch that catches the bottom part of the zone. Count evens at 1-1.
And I think with that strikeout rate, that also comes with him being such a young guy, just coming out of high school, going to his freshman year of college, and facing college pitching experience for the first time this summer.
It's definitely an adjustment, especially with some of these high heaters out here, as that's a swing and a miss on a pitch that broke just in front of the plate. Fooled Astudillo. That'll account for his second strike, as the Copperheads are now down to their last strike here in the bottom of the first. Waiting on deck, if he would be able to come up to the plate, is Ivan Zambrano, the left fielder. Owen Wilson standing 90 feet away. The 1-2 as Astudillo just held off. Second base umpire saying he did not go around. Didn't look like it was a strike from up here, so the count now moves to 2-2. So a slight breeze here tonight. Nothing to help balls fly out of the yard. As a two-seamer misses under the legs of Tomlin, and coming in to score easily is Owen Wilson. So the Copperheads have their first run on the board on a passed ball.
And that was great base running from Owen Wilson all around, getting to first base and taking the bag there in that kind of that weird situation where the second baseman had to field it, then advancing over from second and third in the sac fly, and then advancing home there. Just great baseball IQ and awareness to move around those bases. And if he doesn't get that sac fly over there, that run doesn't score.
That'll be deemed a pass ball on Gage Tomlin as Astudillo barrels one into center field. It splits the gap of the second baseman and shortstop, and he has himself a single. So it looked like Owen Wilson would have scored either way, but definitely took the pressure off Astudillo, gave him a little more free swinging of the bat. The left fielder, Ivan Zambrano,
Number 26, Ivan Zambrano.
will step in for the Copperheads. Excuse me.
Yeah, Zambrano started off the year super hot, 4 RBIs in his first 3 games. Cooled down ever since with a 1.18 average, but a chance here to heat back up again and start his streak again like he did at the beginning of the year.
First pitch Zambrano sees is a fastball that misses low. And that's the thing about these summer leagues is obviously you want to win the championship here in the SCBL, but at the same time it's also about development and getting these guys some reps for their college coaches. So hoping to see his numbers spike back up as he did have a hot start to the year. That fastball goes for a strike and the count moves to 1-1.
Yeah, the Copperheads definitely looking for that championship, 10 years since they acquired their last one in 2012.
If there's any squad that I've seen from these Copperheads to do it, it's going to be this one, as they have had a very electric pitching staff. Not as big as some of the other teams in the league, but a very electric pitching staff nonetheless. A lot of strikeouts to be held in the bullpen.
Yeah, you go down the list, they only have 7, 8 guys, but all those guys with great ERAs and night in, night out coming out and pitching 4 or 5 runs maybe as a staff every time.
The 2-1 to Zambrano is a breaking pitch. Fouls off between the legs of the umpire off the backstop. The count now evens up at 2-2. Reynoso trying to get out of this one with only 1 run given up. Needs 1 more strike to retire the side. Working out of the stretch. He'll give the nod. The kick from the belt and a swing and a miss. Ball hits the dirt and they'll throw it down to first base. And that will be the final out of the inning. Zambrano goes down on strikes, and we move to the top of the second as the Owls will be up with the top side of the order. We'll be right back here on the SCBL YouTube channel.
Welcome back here to Coxmill High School for some more SCBL baseball here. And we'll see if the Owls can do more damage here in the top of the second inning as they put up a 5 spot in the top of the first.
First pitch swinging from Cam Graham as he fouled that one off into the dirt. So Pfizer ahead in the count 0-1.
And we'll see if Pfizer will be able to settle down and his defense behind him will be able to set him down and make some more plays for him.
Fastball missed down in the dirt. Astudillo didn't even bother trying to stop that one as it hits the backstop as the count evens at 1-1. Graham lays off a fastball as Astudillo had to do a take there as there was no strike called. So 2 balls and 1 strike as we got some wind up here in the press box. Do apologize for any extracurricular noise. The 2-1 fouled off. Graham's kind of steps out of the box when he swings, almost in a Shohei Ohtani-esque way. Not as elegant,
Yeah.
but in a similar way where he almost leaves the batter's box when he swings. The 2-2 from Pfizer, way inside, almost clipped a piece of Cam Graham. His count runs full.
Pretty much impossible to be as elegant as Shohei Ohtani on the mound and in the box.
Pfizer working quickly now. The full count pitch. Fastball just misses outside. So Graham will be on with a leadoff walk, and that brings up Alec Yunt, the leadoff batter. So Yunt reached on an error on his first at-bat. He became the first run of the 5 in the top of the first for the Owls, as that's a fastball that doesn't suit the umpire's eye. 1-0. Fires back towards first. Diving in there is Graham, but back in plenty of time. Pfizer trying to calm himself. Take a look back towards Graham standing on first. And he'll give another look back there. Good throw back, but Graham there back in plenty of time. As we was looking at the warm-up pitches, it looks like Pfizer really only has a 2-seam and a 4-seam. Especially being a position player, it's understandable that those are the only real pitches that he has. I saw him trying to throw a couple of breaking balls, but didn't look like he had the right grasp on them. They were missing up and down and left and right. And
Everywhere.
so sticking to that fastball as he knows he can find the zone with it. As there's one that misses up and a fire down from Astudillo towards first. As they are not letting Graham go anywhere off that bag.
But Pfizer, a very surprisingly good pickoff move over there. Fired over there a couple of times and pretty decent.
So he'll give the nod and kick home, and 4 straight fastballs draw a walk for Alec Yunt.
And I'm very interested to see what Sean Stevens will do here the rest of the game. Will he stick with Pfizer even if the Owls put up more runs, or try to go to his bullpen early, something that he stated to me that he did not want to do, trying to save arms for tomorrow?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that I want to say this game doesn't matter, but at the same time, this does not have any implication on the SCBL standings, so I would be a lot more hesitant to try and bring this game back by using pitchers than I would just to let him ride out a couple innings, even if the score does run up pretty high. So Scion Barnett digs in from the right side, watches a fastball, 2 straight fastballs go by him, 1 for a strike and 1 for a ball. Count now sits at 1-1. Had a walk in his first at-bat as he was the second run brought in by the Owls in the top of the first. Puts a barrel on that one and fouls it off over the screen behind home plate. As Pfizer leads the count 1-2. Pretty decent crowd out here tonight. As Pfizer fires the 2-strike pitch and a swing and a miss for Scion Barnett as he sat down on strikes. He represents the first out of the inning.
Yeah, very good crowd you kind of had all season, much better than what we had last summer. Probably 30, 40 more fans per game here.
A lot better of a turnout, I completely agree, and a lot of that has to do some host families here, as well as some more competitive baseball. Closer location for a lot of the people that some familiar faces out here is coming out to Katzenmaier High School, not really having any affiliation with these teams, but just wanted to see some good baseball here on a Friday night. First pitch to Landon Dupert goes for a ball, so he leads the count 1-0. Pfizer checks back towards second before delivering to the dish, and that one's fouled off the screen down the first base line. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And now we are seeing a kind of a mini shift for the big lefty in the box. The outfield shaded to the right.
Well, when he turns on one like that, it's kind of hard not to have that catch your eye a little bit. Make sure that you've got guys down the line as that's pulled. Weakly hit. They'll head to second for 1, trying to get the double play at first, but not in time. As Dupert will reach. Runner out at second. Runner from second advances over to third base. So with 2 outs, runner standing on the corners for the designated hitter, Scott Metzler. Metzler, first one hit. That's going to be a fair ball as it hit off the dirt very softly, just under the glove of Owen Wilson. It's going to roll all the way out into left field. A run's going to score. Moving up to third base is going to be Dupert. And the Owls now have 6 on the board, their first run at the top of the second.
Yeah, and Wilson played that like he thought it was definitely going to be foul and just stayed fair somehow.
Now batting the catcher, Gage Tomlin.
Yeah, it just took such a soft hop. He was expecting it to bounce up off the dirt, but it wasn't. Just slid under the webbing of his glove. As the first pitch thrown to Gage Tomlin goes for a strike out of the hands of Pfizer. 0-1. That one's barreled towards the shortstop, unable to make the play as Tanner is able to knock it down, but a run still going to come in to score as Dupert touches them all. 7-1 now, the Owls lead. So Astadio going to have a quick meeting here with Connor Pfizer. He's now allowed 7 runs on 5 outs. We'll be back tomorrow night here from Cox Mill High School as the Copperheads host the Kingsmen in a doubleheader. So 2 7-inning games will be coming your way here live on YouTube. So we hope to see you in a very pivotal matchup, especially for the standings of the SCBL, as both the Kingsmen and the Copperheads sitting on the top half of the table.
Yeah, the Kingsmen in third place, but not that far behind from the Spinners and the Copperheads.
It's very easy on a doubleheader. If you sweep both, you're in front of the Copperheads and right behind the Spinners.
Yeah.
First pitch goes for a ball. Second one is put into play. Fielding it is Owen Wilson. Can't collect it. Going towards the bag, and it's going to be the runner will be safe. Wilson couldn't collect the baseball, couldn't get the transfer from his glove, fell onto the dirt, and trying to scramble just to dive and touch the bag before the runner could get there. And he was unable to do so. So Metzler stands in safe at third base, and they are now loaded for the right fielder, Sean Seal.
The right fielder, number 38, Sean Seal.
Seal will try to do what he did last time, send a 3-run shot over the wall, and look for a grand slam right here.
Seal sees the first one go by, 1-0. We'll see how Pfizer reacts to this crunch time situation. That one is barreled, but foul. Would have had enough distance as skips between the cars. Almost hit my car out there.
No one that.
We're in a little bit of danger,
yeah.
But nevertheless, we're still good. All the cars are good down there. We got a kid running over to grab that for us. Kids out here, absolute legends, collecting the foul balls up, getting a souvenir. Fastball missing low. 2-1.
In addition, that we didn't have last year was the ball boys and the bat boys we have in the dugouts for both teams tonight.
Yeah. Yep. So those kids, some absolute legends. As that one put in towards right field, coming on and making the play to end the inning is James Owen. 2 come across for the Owls as they lead it 7-1, and we move to the bottom half of the second inning. We'll be right back with you as the Copperheads look to bring in the deficit here on the SCBL network.
And welcome back here to Concord, North Carolina for some more Lake Norman Copperheads baseball. Here in the bottom of the second inning after the Owls struck for 2 more runs. We'll see if the Copperheads can strike back into that deficit. As the lefty Carlos Reynoso back on the mound for the Owls. Got dinged up there in the first inning by a line drive hitting him in the shin, but he shook it off and only allowed 1 in the first inning. As we see the first pitch of the inning going by for a strike. Reynoso looks like his delivery hasn't changed ever since he got hit. Leg looking fine. That breaking pitch inside will go for a strike. So Reynoso up in the count, 0-2, no outs in the inning. Here comes the 0-2 delivery. I'll be swung on down, right field line and foul.
Just trying to fight off. Got to find a way to get some runs back here. Down 6. And like we were saying, it's not a super pivotal game here for the Copperheads, but obviously not one you want to go out in blowout fashion here at home, especially when you're going to be playing on this field tomorrow.
Yeah, because you also have to think the morale of this team. Losing big here wouldn't be good, having to go into a doubleheader.
Yeah, no, you don't want. Yeah, no, you don't want the morale, especially if you get blown out here. Let's say 18-1. You don't really want the morale to be down like that going into tomorrow.
Especially such a pivotal game they have against one of the top teams, a team that's close to them in the standings.
Yeah, exactly. The Kingsmen have already played here once. The Copperheads got the better of them, 8-4. However, the Kingsmen were the one who snapped the Copperheads' undefeated streak down at York High School. Ever since then, the Copperheads have been kind of up and down ever since losing that streak.
Copperheads very good at home, though, trying to keep that home undefeated record alive right now.
Count now stands at 2-2 as Reynoso looks in, shakes off a couple pitches. He'll deliver from the belt, a swing and a miss on a fastball as that sits Jake Tanner down. Or it looks like now the count moves to 2-2. Had the wrong count, excuse me. So the shortstop still alive. Looking to get something started here for the Copperheads in the bottom of the second, and a great frame job from Tomlin, as that was a breaking pitch that caught the outside corner just barely. And a frame job was able to ring in Jake Tanner for the first out of the inning. The second baseman, Zach Will, stands in for the Copperheads.
Second baseman, number 29, Zach Will.
Will with a 167 average in this early SCBL season so far.
Looking to improve that here. As obviously, we're not always going to see big numbers like we see in the MLB with these guys batting 300 and all these super high numbers, but looking to be above that 200 threshold is usually about what coaches are looking for, and the higher the better from that point on.
I think I've seen kind of a flip from last season to this season. Last season, I think it was more of a hitter-dominated league, and then so for this year, a lot more low-scoring games. But we've also seen games like 19-10 between the Spinners and the Vipers earlier this season.
No, I completely agree. I think the competition's a lot better this year. I think the teams are a lot better, as that one almost nicks the shoulder of Will, getting out of the way of it. That was a two-seamer that rang in on him. But no, I completely agree. I think last season, I think it was just because there was more diversity in teams. We had 8 teams in the league, only 5 this year, and so the talent has kind of been squished into these 5 core teams, and there's not a team out here that can't beat another one. I mean, the Vipers started off really, really cold, and all of a sudden they've heated up. They beat the Copperheads and the Spinners now. And so the Vipers are a team to watch out for. Any of these teams in the SCBL are dangerous, and any of the teams like the Owls that come out here are full of fantastic competition. That one's put into play out towards center field. Shading on it and making the play is Scotty Diekman, as he makes the second out of the inning. The center fielder, Robbie Brown, batting in the 8th spot, will come up for the Copperheads with nobody on and 2 out in the bottom of the second inning.
14, Robbie Brown.
What you got for us on Robbie Brown?
Well, with a 118 average, only 2 hits, but 4 RBIs in those 2 hits, so clutch hits he's had so far.
We'll see what he can do here with the bases empty. Sees a first one go by for a ball.
Favorite MLB players, Jason Hayward, a guy that you don't think of a lot, but a great arm and a great glove out there in the outfield in those days for the Cubs when they won the World Series.
That was a filthy breaking pitch from Reynoso that had Brown reaching way out to the other side of the zone, had him way in front. That pitch evens the count at 1-1. As set up on the outside edge was Tomlin, wasn't able to bring that one back for the umpire's liking. Count moves to 2-1. But no, I completely agree. Hayward, a guy who's not in his prime anymore, but when he was one heck of a player to watch, especially when those Cubbies went all the way. Not doing too hot this year. Neither are my Reds, but what can you do?
Unfortunately, I'm a Reds fan as well, so I'm right there with you.
Oh, what can you do? The nod from Reynoso, the 2-2. That one's put into play towards right field, and it's going to get down. Looking for extra bases was Brown, but a great fielding job by Sean Seal out there to grab it off the one-hop, as he had to have a lot of speed to get over to that ball. And that's another thing to note, is the field out here is very tough for the time of season it is. So this field it's going to bounce like a spring. We've already seen a couple ground rule doubles, but so far this season we have. But it's going to bounce like a spring, and that definitely helped to Seal's advantage.
Yeah, Seal took a great route to that one.
The right fielder, James Oman, sees a breaking pitch miss high for his first pitch.
Oman right at that 300 threshold. That's, kind of Hall of Fame status in the MLB right there. Hitting 300 with 20 at-bats, 6 hits and 5 runs so far.
He's laid on a 2-seam fastball out of the hands of Reynoso. So that brings the count up 1-1 and 1 strike. Looking to get something rolling here with 2 outs as the Copperheads have a man on after a single. Reynoso check over before delivering home, and that's a fastball placed up and outside. One of those pitches that you're looking for that top outside corner in case of a steal, and if it ends up missing high like that, it brings Tomlin out of his stretch. You've got a man gunned down at second.
Yeah, Brown ordered with 2 stolen bases this year, trying to make it 3 possibly.
2 balls and 1 strike, and another breaking pitch that's getting these guys to swing off the outside edge. They're expecting it to move in, and it just stays out there.
Yeah, Oma took a big hack at that one.
The 2-2 now. Reynoso looking to make this a scoreless inning. Runner goes, and that one's put into play down the right field line. And chasing over and making the play is Sean Seal on the run. Almost had to go into a dive there, but with his speed, he didn't need to. He retires the 3rd out of the inning. The Copperheads come up scoreless as the Owls will be up in the top of the 3rd inning here from Cox Mill High School. And we will be back here on the SCBL Network in just a minute. Leading off the top of the 3rd here for the Owls is Jack Weaver as he swings out of his shoes on a fastball from Connor Pfizer for the 1st strike of the inning. As Pfizer back out there for his 3rd inning of work. The 0-1 put in towards the gap in left center, shading over and making the play is the center fielder Robbie Brown. Both those guys almost looked like they were going to collide a bit as they were both darting for it, but communication made at the last second. Zambrano peeled off, and Brown was able to make the play.
Number 9, Bryson Beber.
So Bryson Beber, the first baseman, batting in the 9 slot. We'll dig in. A lot of righties on this Owl squad. As first pitch down in the dirt, 1-0.
We do see possibly a friendly game of catch going over there close to the Copperheads bullpen. Last weekend when me and Reese were on the broadcast, we thought a friendly game of catch went into a full warm-up, and then the guy came out there to pitch, so you never know.
That ball down the first base line. Umpire calling it fair, rolling all the way to the outfield wall. And in there with a stand-up double is Jack Weaver. Or Bryson Beber, excuse me, not Weaver. Bryson Beber with the stand-up double. It was right down the line. It was a very, very hard call to see, but the home plate umpire made it clear that that ball was a fair ball as it just trickled down the line. And with how hard that field is, that ball was going to go all the way to the wall, even when it wasn't struck the best.
Yeah, we definitely heard a lot of appeals from Copperheads fans over there on the first base side thinking otherwise.
They've got the best angle at it. They got a better angle than we do. So.
Yeah.
But the call stands, a runner put in scoring position now as Cam Graham, the second baseman, sees 2 balls go by him. The 2-0 from Pfizer is an off-speed pitch. A little bit ahead of it was Graham. He fouls it off home plate. 2-1 now. And after the 2-1 count, we're going to have a mound meeting here. We'll see if this will be the end of the night for Connor Pfizer or if they're just trying to check something over, make sure that everything is okay out there.
And that friendly game of catch has amounted to. Looks like the 2 guys are going into the bullpen, and one guy squatting down ready to catch them.
So when we can get an eye on that number, we will let you know who we see warming up in the bullpen. As there's another game of catch going on over there between the some of the kids, and they got some skill to them. Throwing some darts with the tennis balls.
One of them has hit us last in the first game of the season.
Still waiting to have a foul ball come up here. It would be very, very hard for that to happen. It'd have to go over the screen, bounce off the concrete, and up here, but anything is possible.
Crazier things have happened in baseball.
Absolutely. So after that meeting, Pfizer fires a ball, and the count now moves in Graham's favor to 3-1. He swings through an off-speed, and both balls that he swung at, he's been way early on, as we've seen pretty much only fastballs from Pfizer, but he's breaking out the changeup or a slowed-down version of his fastball, trying to fool these hitters. Full count pitch misses inside. So Graham takes his base over at first. Runners now at second and first. And the top of the order back up for the Owls here in the top of the third as Alec Yunt, the shortstop, digs in.
Anytime you can have your leadoff guy bat 3 times in the first 3 innings, you're having a pretty good day as a team hitting.
Especially with the 10-man lineup. First pitch that he sees is flied out towards right field. Camping under it is James Oman. Fires in towards second as the runner will not advance. So routine pop out for Oman as they are now 2 away in the inning.
Absolute bullet from Oman in right field right there.
That was a gunshot out there. He's got one heck of an arm. Not the biggest guy on the team, but that was a cannon. Sion Barnett lines that one straight into the glove of Owen Wilson. He had that one all the way. It was hit right towards him, and a no-doubter catch there from Owen Wilson. The Copperheads blank the Owls for the first time in this one in the top half of the third inning. Score remains at 7-1 as they look to chip away at the lead in the bottom of the third when we come right back here on the SCBL Network. Leading off the bottom of the third for the Copperheads is Owen Wilson, the third baseman that made the hot corner catch to end the top half of the frame. As Carlos Reynoso back on the mound for his third inning of work. First pitch is a two-seam fastball that just misses the outside part of the corner. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, Wilson didn't have a lot of time to react to that one. Just saw a baseball flying at his face and had to catch it.
The 1-0 is a breaking pitch, just misses down low. So trying to find his spots here is Reynoso in the bottom of the third. He looked a little more wild in warm-ups as well. That could have just been trying to do a little bit something different with pitch selection, but it's showing a little bit here as the count now runs 3-0. Almost looks like he's overthrowing those fastballs a bit, missing high and outside. I'm no pitch expert, but I've watched a lot of baseball to be able to tell that it does look like he's trying to overthrow a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes to a breaking pitch, as he does there, and it catches the bottom part of the plate.
We might need you on the staff for the Copperheads this year.
My area of work is wiffle ball pitches.
Yeah.
So I'm a nasty wiffle ball pitcher. The 3-1 is a fastball taken high, is a 5-pitch walk to the leadoff man, Owen Wilson. As that now brings up the first baseman, Jackson Taylor, batting second in the lineup.
Do you like the blitz balls, or do you like to grade the actual wiffle balls themselves?
Oh, wiffle balls.
Yeah?
Wiffle ball. I think wiffle ball is more fun than blitz ball.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it takes more skill. I'm calling out the blitz ball players. I think wiffle ball
Really?
takes more skill. Definitely hitting. I think it takes more skill.
Yeah.
Two-seamer can't catch the outside part of the plate. I can't seem to find a word. As count runs 1-0. I'm a little rusty here. It's my first broadcast in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So finding the rhythm, finding the groove. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Reynoso delivers, and he's really like that two-seamer, catching the bottom part of the zone, as he's found 3 strikes that way so far. Count runs 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeremiah Guzman standing on deck for the Copperheads, as he will have a chance to bat in this half of the inning. Runner standing on first base, and that's a fastball. It's fouled off down the first base line. Almost decided to spin back into play, but stays on the right side of that white line. Count runs 1-2.
Yeah, I do feel like with the blitz ball sometimes you can just throw it down the middle and it'll go crazy places, even if you're not trying to.
Oh, it definitely will. Well, I think wiffle ball pitches are more fun. They're more resemblant of baseball pitches, in my opinion. They're just baseball pitches that move a lot more. I don't know. I haven't played as much wiffle ball as I played as much blitz ball as I played wiffle ball. So I could be completely wrong. Runner goes, and that one hits the backstop easily. Heading into second is going to be Wilson. He'll round second, but will stay there. So now a runner in scoring position on the 2-2 count for Taylor. So Reynoso has found his pitching a little better here in this at-bats. Really like that two-seamer low in the zone. We'll see what he goes to here on the 2-2. No one holding the runner on, and it was that two-seamer that's fouled off. And it looked like that might have caught Tomlin in a not so good of a spot. But he looks to be okay. Count remains 2-2 here in the lefty battle, as this was a good at-bat the first time around. Seeing another good fight here from both of these guys. Copperheads just looking to slowly chip away at that lead, as Connor Fizer found his footing in the top half of the frame. See what the Copperheads can do with the bats in the bottom half. The 2-2 from the belt. Fastball hits the dirt. Good block by Tomlin, as the count now runs full. And Reynoso at risk of walking another batter here. He leaning in, working out of the stretch. Wilson not being held on. Has a short lead over at second. And now the pitch, swing and a miss down in the dirt. Filthy breaking pitch. Gets tailored to chase, and that'll be the first out of the inning. They'll gun him down at first base. But nevertheless, goes as a strikeout for the man on the bump. So Carlos Reynoso knocks down the first out of the inning.
That's a lot more like the Reynoso we saw in the first couple of innings right there. Just the nasty breaking stuff, and finished off the first batter of the inning right there.
Had to find his footing, and when he did, looking to be as dominant as he was in the first few. Jeremiah Guzman, the designated hitter, back up to bat for the Copperheads as he comes in with a runner standing in scoring position. First pitch he sees is that two-seamer trying to catch the bottom part of the plate. Dropped a little bit too low for the umpire's liking. So count moves 1-0. Shadows starting to heavily drift here at Cox Mill High School as the sun's starting to go down. 8 o'clock on the dot right now. One away here in the bottom of the third, as that one just misses outside. Guzman thought about it. He holds off. Reynoso out of the stretch. Checks back towards second before kicking home. And that one pops out of the glove of Tomlin. 3-0 now. You know, just we were talking about how he kind of found his rhythm and his zone again. He's now ran 2 of those two-seamers into the dirt, and he's missed 1 outside. He's only gone to the fastball here so far in this at-bat. And that's a called strike. On his way down to first was Jeremiah Guzman, but Blue says, come back. So he'll try the 3-1. Feel like you got to have swings away here. Standing on deck is Dario Astadio, the catcher. As if Guzman can't produce, he'll look to. The 3-1. Breaking pitch down in the dirt. Emphatically swings the bat over towards the dugout and is able to take his base. That's now 2 5-pitch walks issued by Reynoso so far in the bottom half of the third.
I mean, you feel like if you're the Copperheads here, you're down 6 right now. At least get these 2 runners in with 1 out of the inning and cut it down a little bit and just chip away at it little by little. As we do see the mound visit. Nobody warming up in the Statesville Owls bullpen, so Reynoso will stay in the game right here.
So just a question of control at the moment, unless they're going to have a position player come in to pitch. As only 5 substitutes on this Owls roster. And so it looks like Reynoso will stay on the mound. So the Copperheads have something brewing here in the bottom of the third. 2 runners on. As Dario Astadio, the catcher, looks to come up clutch for the Copperheads with 1 away in the inning.
And we were talking about earlier Jacob Shaw warming up at the bullpen. Not up there anymore, so it'll be interesting to see if they keep Pfizer on after that, putting up that 0 spot last inning, or he's just done with his warm-up pitches and ready to go.
First pitch home is a breaking ball that slipped out of the hand of Astadio. It's the second pitch we've seen during this inning that he's looked to go to that slurve and hasn't been able to locate it. He'll check back towards second before delivering from the belt. That one's popped up high into the air. Looks to be fielded by the third baseman. And able to make the catch is Jack Weaver for the second out of the inning. And that ball, I mean, we had to reach under to look up there because that ball was skied. That was a big league pop out right there.
Yeah, big hack from Astadio right there. If he gets equal to that ball, that one's flying far.
So now it's up to the left fielder, Ivan Zambrano, as he digs in with 2 away. Reynoso looking for his second scoreless inning, but the Copperheads look to have different plans. Lefty on righty matchup. Reynoso. First pitch is going to be a ground ball right to the first baseman. Bobbles it, but collecting himself and able to make the play is Bryson Beber, and that will end the inning. The Copperheads strand 2 as we head to the top of the 4th as the Owls look to extend their lead here on the SCBL network.
And welcome back here to Concord, North Carolina. Statesville Owls with a 6 lead advantage, but the Copperheads a new pitcher on the mound. Jacob Shaw, number 20. His 4th appearance of the season. All 4 appearances so far in relief, as we see that one. Jump over Asadillo for his first pitch of the inning. Shaw so far in this SCBO campaign, 9 1/3 innings pitched with a 6.75 ERA. 9 strikeouts, 1 win, and 1 loss. As the Copperheads are hoping that he can hold them to 0 and see if his offense can get them back into this ballgame.
Yeah, the Copperheads got three solid innings from their position players, so they feel the last 6 can be closed out by their pitchers, as that one's fouled down the first base line, 2-1.
It'll be interesting to see how manager Sean Stevens utilizes the position players and the regular pitchers as this game goes along. I bet it'll just kind of depend on the score and what kind of ball game we have here.
If they need me, I'll go out there.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna give up some long balls, but
Yeah.
have some fun. If I can save an arm, save an inning,
Yeah.
go for it.
That one fouled off, and the count will run even 2-2. You'd be the only person from the Sun Belt Fun Belt on on the field on the team.
Yeah, representing App State, I wouldn't do a good job representing, that's for sure.
Strike 3 right there, and Shaw starts him off his day off with a backwards K, painted the outside part of the plate. That's a good way to start off your day.
Absolutely. That two-seamer just had enough movement on it to catch a part of the plate, got the eye of the umpire, and was able to ring up Dupert.
Now the 4-hole hitter for the Owls will step into the box as they see ball 1, Scott Metzer, the DH today. One ball, no strikes. That one will be another ball. So Metzer with the hitter's count right here, 2-0.
Definitely a lower zone here tonight. Not too many high pitches getting rung up.
2-0, that will be inside, but for a strike this time.
So after a scoreless third, Copperheads looking to blank the top half of the frame.
That one will be lined into the right center field gap and be caught by the Copperheads right fielder James Oman for out 2 in the inning.
So a K and a fly out, as it's been a quick top half of the inning so far, and the Copperheads hoping to keep it that way.
And up to the plate for the Owls. Behind the plate tonight for them, Gage Tomlin, looking to try to work some two-out magic right here and start a little rally. As that will be strike on the outside part of the plate, as Shaw does a great performance so far, locating everything.
Scotty Diekman getting some stretching in for the Owls in their bullpen. Not sure if he's just out there getting some stretching or he's looking to start warming up for him, as that was a safety swing that went horribly wrong.
You'd have to imagine he's coming in to pitch because he's supposed to be on deck right now.
If that is him out there, you'd have to imagine. He's been playing center field.
0-2 count. Here comes the pitch. That one will be low and outside for a ball.
Yeah, and I mean, already, anybody can throw a fastball pretty hard, but when you've got movement on your pitches like Shaw does here, it's a whole different ball game for these batters.
That one will be lined down the third base line. Will stay fair. Fired over to first, and he will be out of there. Is a good play from the Copperheads third baseman, Owen Wilson, and that will retire the side of 1-2-3. Stick with us to see if the Copperheads can eat into this deficit here at Cox. Welcome back here as Jake Tanner will step into the right-hander's batter's box. Trying to start a much-needed rally here for Lake Norman. As you guys are watching us here on the SCBL YouTube channel, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you know who you're following. It's SCBL Baseball on both. No periods, no underscores, as there's been some other accounts out there trying to steal some people's info, so make sure you guys are staying safe.
If anything is ever going to be live streamed, it is going to be here on YouTube. Always here on YouTube at the SCBL Baseball channel. We will never make you pay for any of these live streams unless they are outsourced by somebody else, like the tournament that's coming up that the Copperheads will be playing in at Liberty University. I believe that might be a paid live stream. I'm not sure the details on that yet, but any of the SCBL on SCBL action will be here live on YouTube for you to watch.
Yeah, and that tournament right there will be a great opportunity for the Copperheads to play some teams that are, not around the Charlotte region and test their skills against some different people. As we see the camera battery going out, and we'll have a quick pit stop right there and change it out. Just a reminder, a 1-1 count, no outs in the inning. Or excuse me, a 2-1 count, as that will be swung on into the netting. A good catch right there from the on-deck man, that being Zach Will, the second baseman.
It's not a night of baseball if there is not any technical difficulties.
Oh, yeah. Especially with us this season and last game. It was a little frantic leading up to the start of the game. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That one swung on for strike 3, and that will be the first out of the inning, as Jake Tanner just swung right through that fastball. And we'll see if Zach Will can do any better. Will takes one practice swing and ready to step in against the lefty, Reynoso. As we're getting that camera battery changed ASAP. Here comes the 0-0 pitch. That'll be down the middle for a strike. Great raking pitch by Carlos Reynoso. As we see the camera looking a lot better now. You guys can actually watch the live baseball, not just have to listen to it. As you saw Will right there swing through that fastball, so he'll be down on the count 0-2 with 1 strike. Pitcher's count right here, no balls, 2 strikes. And that'll be swung on to left field, sky high. And that'll be out to the inning. Good catch there by Simon Barrett, number 3 for the Owls. And that'll be 2 outs in the inning. And Robbie Brown, the center fielder, will step up.
If you guys have any questions for us at home, or any questions in general here about the SCBL, or just anything you want Zane and I to touch on here tonight, go ahead and drop them in the live chat. There's 21 of y'all right now, so we thank you so much for tuning in and joining us here on your Friday evening. No better way to spend it here than watching some quality college baseball.
And the 0 pitch will be outside for a strike. Statesville Owls such a historic team. They were a minor league team from 1900 to 1969. A part of many organizations, the Chicago Cubs, New York Giants, Los Angeles Angels, Boston Red Sox, Detroit Tigers, and Cleveland Indians, and 3 league titles under their names back in the day. A lot of great major league guys came through that system. You have an MLB All-Star, then you have Ed Farmer, who is the longtime announcer for the Chicago White Sox. And you have Rudy York, who's a 7-time All-Star as well, going through that Statesville system. 0-2 pitch outside as the Owls catcher try to frame that one, Gage Tomlin.
Yeah, a lot of historic moments here in this Owls organization. Not in any specific league this year. They're just floating around playing any opponent that they can, so they're mixing in with the SCBL quite a bit. They're 3-1 so far this year against SCBL teams, as they're looking to make it 4-1, as another strikeout for Carlos Reynoso ends the bottom of the 4th inning for the Copperheads. And so the Owls will be back up in the top of the 5th as they lead it 7-1. We'll be right back from Cox Mill High School. Welcome back as Jacob Shaw gets things started here in the top of the 5th inning for the Copperheads. He's back for his 2nd inning of work. Currently has 1 strikeout to his name, no earned runs so far. And digging in for the Owls is Scotty Diekman. First pitch, breaking pitch, misses high, 1-0.
Shaw some much needed reassurance out of that bullpen for Lake Norman, trying to hold down the game here.
The 1-0 quickly turns 2-0 as that's a ball down in the dirt. So Shaw trying to find his footing here early in the top of the 5th. With these players coming from all over the country, I'm curious, I got to ask everybody out there, where y'all tuning in from tonight? Where are you joining us from? That one's popped up straight in the air. Coming down on the mound and coming in to make the play is the third baseman, Owen Wilson. So he's there to record the first out of the inning.
In this season, not a lot of many hometown guys on this Copperheads roster. Kind of going through the roster here, we've got a guy from New Jersey, West Virginia, Florida, obviously North and South Carolina, Minnesota, Wisconsin, District of Columbia, Virginia, and then you have all the way out in California as well. So this roster are from many different regions of the nation.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot more, I don't want to say a lot more talent, but definitely guys wanting to come out here and making the SCBL one of the premier East Coast college baseball leagues for the summer.
Well, I think it's fair to say that this team's more talented than last season.
It definitely is. This Copperheads team is more talented than it is. I think the SCBL as a whole is a lot more talented than it was last year.
I'd definitely be willing to say that because they have 7 wins this year and they had 6 last year. So I think that's a very fair assumption to make.
A big swing and a miss from the right fielder, Sean Seal, as he now sits in with a 2-1 count. Shaw, fastball, misses high and in. So now a complete hitter's count here, standing at 3-1. One away here as the 3-1 is fouled off against the screen. Count moves full.
Second one tonight to doink off the snack stand over there behind us.
Our lovely Coach Park and Cox Mills girls basketball team is he's getting showered over there. The full count pitch. Swing and a grounder. Shading towards the shortstop and takes a hard bounce off the grass. Unable to come up with it was Jake Tanner as it rolls into the outfield. Taking a huge turn was Seal, but he will hold back at first base. And that's what we were talking about. That dirt bounces soft and the grass bounces super, super hard. As went in to make a play and bounced right over his head. So 1 out and a man standing on first base for the third baseman, Jack Weaver.
Now batting the third baseman, number 1, Jack Weaver.
And me and Reese on our last broadcast last week, and we're talking about the different type of counters we need to maybe have on the screen, especially when Giacomo comes up on the mound, dealing first in the SCB on strikeouts right now. And you're more of a tech guy than we are. Maybe you can get that sorted out.
Gotta have a cake. Oh, listen, this scoreboard can do a lot more. We're just working. We're working Reese and you into this just very, very slowly here. The 0-1 from Shaw as a fastball sparks some dirt off the glove of Astudillo. Stays out of the zone. The count evens up at 1-1. Now, yeah, we got to give a shout out to Reese here, who's been behind the scenes tonight, working the scoreboard for us, running the camera, doing all the dirty work. We got the easy part. We just watch baseball and talk about it. 7-1, the Owls lead. No runs have come across since the top of the second inning. The Owls struck big with 5 in the first, 2 in the second. A 3-run blast over the left center gap by the man standing on first base, Sean Seal.
Yeah, Reese coming back from UNC journalism camp, a camp that I'm excited to go to once I become the age to go. I think it's, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Am I right, Reese? Juniors and seniors, so still a couple years away from that.
Shaw working out of the stretch. Gives a nod to the 2-1, and he'll fire back to first base. Having to reach his hand up is Jackson Taylor, jumping off the bag to make sure that one stays in play. We have a substitution change over at first base. That's Kyle Whitaker sitting on that breaking pitch as it goes over towards Wilson. Fires over to first base and making the play as there's now 2 away in the inning.
Big applause there from the Copperheads dugout as the natural third baseman, Kyle Whitaker, makes a nice scoop right there and saves it out. Whitaker with an absolute cannon. I remember one we had last weekend, he fired across the infield, O'Neill Cruz-esque. Just an absolute laser.
Cruz has been a fun guy to watch so far this year, hasn't he?
Yeah. Might actually have to tune into a Reds-Pirates game. I thought I'd never have to say that.
It's a cold strike down at the shins to the liking of the umpire, 0-1. 2 away in the inning. Runner moved up to second base, so he stands in scoring position as that's a high fly ball out towards left field, but it'll stay in play. Zambrano is under it and makes the play. So the Copperheads get out of the inning, and it's 3 straight scoreless in the top half for the Copperheads as we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning as they look to chip away at this deficit once again. We'll be right back here from Cox Mill High School. James Oman is the first Copperhead up here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as he'll lead off batting in the 9-hole. So due up in this frame will be Owen Wilson and assumably Kyle Whitaker. Back out on the mound is Carlos Reynoso as he waves a fastball by the right fielder for the first strike.
So just what a great outing he's had so far, you know, taming down this explosive Copperheads offense so far tonight.
Finding his location and control early here in the bottom of the 5th, as that's a 2-seamer that has Oman way behind on it. Quickly 0-2 now. The 0-2, swing and a miss on a high fastball, sits him down on 3 straight. And Carlos Reynoso, a very, very good start in the top or the bottom of the 5th inning. The third baseman, Owen Wilson, back up to bat for the 3rd time tonight. Wilson placed in that leadoff spot as he now faces Reynoso. Fastball runs inside on him. 0-1 or 1-0. Wilson stands in the middle of the box, not too close to the plate, as he watches a breaking pitch slide right into the zone. Very, very nice pitch from Reynoso, and showing off his location and ability to take some off that baseball as the count now evens up at 1-1 strike.
And it looks like it's Wilson Lore on deck, but Kyle Whitaker was playing first base where Jackson Taylor wouldn't sneak in there in that second spot in the lineup. So lots of changes going around here in this kind of exhibition matchup.
And that's exactly what we kind of expected here. So if we do have some names wrong, that is our bad. We'll try to have it as updated as we possibly can.
Very fun for us here up in the booth trying to keep track of all that, especially for our scorekeeper.
Our good man Bubba's going to have a lot of tracking to do. Fastball misses outside. Count now rings full. So we'll see with Lohr coming to bat where he's going to end up playing position-wise. As safety swing trying to stay alive there.
One thing I did see earlier in the game was Ian Askin warming up with a bat over there. And there, I don't know if he was just playing around with it or maybe getting him at bat. The big 6'9" frame, if he connects with one, it's going to go far, far.
Yeah, and Askin, one of the taller guys on the team.
By 7 or 8 inches. One of the taller guys in probably college baseball.
That one's looped out towards right field. Should be playable. Under it to make the play is the right fielder, Sean Seal, as he has the second out of the inning. Number 11, Wilson Lohr gets his first at-bat. His jersey nice and clean as no dirt's been rubbed on it so far. Lefty on lefty matchup here as he replaces Jeremiah Guzman in the order. First pitch he sees is a fastball that hits the bottom of the corner.
Lohr with a great average so far this year, 375, 6 hits with 1 stolen base, and played his high school ball close to here in Concord, North Carolina, at Independence High School.
Second pitch rang in on him. Thought he might have gotten hit by it, but just the wind brushing by his pants. It'll go for a ball, 1 strike. Guzman standing on deck as a breaking pitch waved on for the second strike.
I think that fooled the hitter and the pitcher as well.
That fooled everybody.
Yeah.
That ball was just falling out of the sky. So once again, we thank everybody for tuning in here tonight, spending your Friday evening with us. There's no way we'd have it better. Fastball missing down in the dirt. Count moves even at 2-2. So Lohr only swung the bat once so far in this one. He's watched a lot of pitches go by him. As Carlos Reynoso looking to finish 5 full frames here for the Owls. That one, no way that one didn't slip out of his hands. It soars over the head of Lohr and the umpire, hitting the backstop here.
That's scary coming at you, but it's a little less scary when it's 2-3 feet over your head.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So 3-2 now. 2 outs in the inning, nobody on. Reynoso against Lohr. Kick from the belt and called strike 3. Lohr thought he had a walk, but the umpire says otherwise. 3 straight sat down here for Reynoso as he continues his dominance and helps the Owls retain the 6-run lead. We'll be right back for the top of the 6th as we hand it over to Zane here at Cox Mill High School.
And welcome back here for some more SCBL and Lake Norman Copperheads baseball as we go to the top of the 6th inning. And Jacob Shaw working his 3rd inning right now. Shaw's first pitch of the game will be lined to the 3rd baseman, and that'll be out 1. A good throw by Owen Wilson over there to Kyle Whitaker.
So some substitution changes here for the Copperheads. Whitaker standing over at first base, and Lohr going into the game out in left field in place of Zambrano. So we can assume that Lohr took the spot of the previous first baseman, Jackson Taylor, and Whitaker will take the spot of the left fielder, Ivan Zambrano, in the 5-hole. Unless there were some other changes we are unaware of, I'm assuming that's where the batting order will go for Lake Norman.
That one be grounded in a good catch by the on-deck man right there. Barehanding that one. I think that's the 2nd time this game we've seen a play from the on-deck man.
Oh, he was looking to gun somebody down over there too.
Yeah. The count will be 0-1. 1 out of the inning. That one will be low, and the count will run even 1-1.
Yunt back up for his 4th time in this game, 4th time in 6th innings.
Pitch from Shaw. And that one will be low once again. Nastadio will stop that one up, but that'll be a hitter's count now, 2-1.
Y'all are quiet tonight in the chat. Normally we at least got some Zane lovers out here.
Yeah.
But chat real quiet tonight.
I think we did see one Dario Astadio fan last weekend in the chat.
Y'all can be active. Y'all can talk to us.
Yeah.
We don't bite, I promise. We're not that mean.
Shaw trying to look to get back into this count, 3-1. Swing and a miss. That was a great slider right there. And the count will run full.
Yunt's had a pair of walks and a reach on error so far.
Here comes the full count delivery. And that'll be lined into the left center field gap for a single. As looks like the Copperheads left fielder, Wilson Loher, just kind of hard to get it in there, but eventually did and kept the runner at first base.
Well, he was charging hard and almost bounced out of his mitt, and so he really didn't have anything to do but chase it down.
Yeah.
It's a really wide round there from Yunt, as he was thinking about going 2, but didn't want to chance the arm of Lohr. So he remains at first base. So 1 out and 1 on for the Owls as the left fielder, Scion Barnett, will step in.
First pitch will be lined into the center field as the center field will have to track back towards the wall, and he will get there as Robbie Brown gets the 2nd out of the inning. And that will bring up Landon Dupert, the EH. As Jacob Shaw trying to get another inning scoreless here. 1 more out to go.
It really felt like to start this game we were going to have a slugfest, but ever since the top of the 2nd inning, we haven't seen a run come across the board. Owls looking to spark something here with the man on first, but with 2 outs away, Dupert's got to do something big.
That one will be skied up into the infield. The second baseman will be called for it. Zach will go under it. We know the shortstop will get there. A diving play, but he will get it as Jake Tanner gets the 3rd out of the inning. So the Copperheads put another scoreless run here, but still 6 down. We'll see if the offense can do anything here and try to buy into this lead. Welcome back here as Carlos Reynoso back onto the mound for the Statesville Owls. As Jeremiah Guzman, the DH, steps into the box. Down 6 right here, and you have to imagine the Copperheads need at least 1 or 2 right now.
Got to feel like you have to have something here as these innings are into the game's getting closer and closer, quicker and quicker, and you got to think something's got to give sooner or later from Reynoso. He's only had 1 inning where he kind of slipped up a little bit, and that he didn't even produce a run out of that inning. So you got to think that it's time to strike before another pitcher comes in.
Now that one will be outside. The count will run 2-0. Good count for Guzman here, trying to turn on something and start a potential rally. To a pitch, that'll be fouled off. Guzman still in control of this count, 2-1. Reynoso will get the sign and get set. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And that will be inside, 3-1 now. Just a reminder, Gage Tomlin calling the pitches here for Reynoso tonight, doing a good job blocking up behind the plate and a good pitch selection so far. 3-1 pitch, and that will be strike 2. As we saw Jeremiah Guzman strolling down to first base. I think that's the second time tonight that he's done that. I think it's a ball 4, and the umpire says get back in the box, and the first time it resulted in an out, and we'll see if the same thing happens here. Full count, no outs in the inning. As Guzman will now see ball 4.
That's that same frustrated bat flip he had. He sends it down there again, but this could spark the end of the night for Carlos Reynoso, as there is a man warming up in the bullpen. And it looks like it will be the end of the night for Reynoso, but 6 innings, only 1 run scored. And hopefully for the Owls, who only have 1 earned run after the end of this inning. So we'll have a quick pitching change, and during that, we'll take a break. When we're back, we will give you all the information about our new pitcher on the mound, and we'll be back to the action here in the bottom of the 6th inning. not.
And Dario Astadio steps into the box for the Copperheads as we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Owls, Gage Smith, out of Lander University, the Bearcats. Gage pitched 2 2/3 innings so far, or this last season, and pitching 2 innings against the eventual national champions, North Greenville, in the Division II.
Smith, a very tall frame, standing on the mound. Looks around 6'3" or 6'4" from up here. And apparently I am completely wrong, as he looks are deceiving, it seems, as he's only listed at 5'10", but that can't be right. I'm 5'10".
I think you'd be a little smaller out there if you were on the mound.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That ball fouled out of play. Runner went. So he'll have to head back over towards first base. He does not look 5'10" to me. I could be completely wrong, though. We'll call it 6 foot and call it a day.
Smith this last college season allowed 2 runs on 4 hits and 2 walks while striking out 1 batter in those 2 2/3 pitched. Smith will peek back to first base. Pitcher's count 0-2, no strikes out in the inning. As we'll see a time from the umpire, apparently maybe Astadio stepping out of the box, but it looked like Gage Smith maybe just taking too long right there. Smith will fire back over to first, and he'll be safe. Jeremiah Guzman over there at first.
No outs in the inning. Count sits at 0-2. Smith looking to take care of the runners that Reynoso left out there.
0-2 pitch will be outside for ball 1.
It's a wicked fastball. He threw his whole body into that.
Just a little food for thought here. Jeremiah Guzman, 3 stolen bases already this season, so definitely some wheels over there, and you can see why Smith is checking on him.
We'll see what he decides to do here on the 1-2. He'll get a couple looks back from Smith before Smith finally decides to kick home.
Guzman's running ball 2, and he will be in there safe. That was a good throw by Gage Tomlin, but just couldn't get there in time. And the count will run even 2-2. It was strike 3 apparently. I guess he swung. I don't know if that was a swinging strike or went down looking.
Well, he must have gone down looking because it was a swinging strike. First base was well, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Because if the runner's going, first base is technically unoccupied, but it could be depending on the rule. It could be if first base is occupied, no matter what, stealing or not.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. I felt like he didn't swing, but that also looked low for a strike. As we see Kyle Whitaker sky one into center field, that'll be a high pop-up. And that will drop as some miscommunication from the shortstop right there, that being Alec Young and Scotty Diekman out in center field. As that is placed perfectly right there from Kyle Whitaker. As Whitaker needed that hit right there with a 120 average right there, and maybe that can start a streak for him and get back up to that 200, 300 threshold.
Yeah, that was a high, spinny ball that just plopped right down in left center. I mean, there's nothing else to it. Center fielder didn't come on soon enough, so the job was left up to Yunt, and Yunt couldn't get there in time. And so now you find yourself in a situation where we've got 1 away in the inning and runner standing on first and second for Jake Tanner.
That'll be outside for a strike. And we were talking about earlier, the Copperheads had, 2 runners on, 1 at first and 1 at second, with 1 out of the inning. And they didn't get any runs out of them. We're saying they need, 1-2 runs out of this, and that was earlier in the ball game. And now it's in later in this game, so you have to imagine maybe 3 here would be due as they're losing by 6, cutting that deficit 50%. As that is a bad swing right there, but a wicked, nasty breaking pitch, and that will be an 0-2 count now.
Smith has a lot more movement on his pitches than Reynoso did. He's got a lot more movement. It looks like he's got a slider, a curveball, and definitely that fastball that's got some good two-seam movement on it. That would be my guess. You could call that other pitch a slurve. You could call it whatever you want. Either way, it's got some wicked movement on it out of the hands of Smith.
0-2, both runners are going. Throw down the third. Guzman will be out of there. As that was a great throw by Gage Tomlin, the Owls catcher. And Guzman tried to take one bag. He did, but the second bag, he will be out. So that'll be 2 outs in the inning now for the Copperheads. So now Jake Tanner in a very different situation. Runners at first and second, 1 out, to having only a runner at second with 2 outs. 1-2 count right now. So the Copperheads are 1 strike away from ending this inning with nothing. And swing and a miss, as the Copperheads can't put anything on the board. Still losing by 6. The Owls hold strong. And we'll be back here for the top of the 7th inning to see if the Owls can add to their advantage.
New pitcher in for Lake Norman as Jaden Hackbarth takes the bump for the Copperheads, as he'll get his first pitching appearance, and seems as he's gonna slow some 40-mile-an-hour pitches up there and see what he can do.
This is real baseball right here. This is what the people came to see tonight.
This is a real position player pitching right here. We're going to have some fun with this one. If that one fouled off, 1 strike away from a strikeout for Hackbarth.
Hackbarth has done a lot of damage with his bat so far in the season. He's 3rd in the SCBL on homers and had a homer in his last game against the Spinners, but now having a chance to prove his worth on the mound as he will fire that one in for strike 3 as Jaden Hackbarth now it's 1K on the night. And any MLB team looking for a closer, getting Jaden Hackbarth in there, showing off the heat right there.
Look at Jaden Hackbarth showing something off. He didn't show any of those little floaters in warm-up. He was throwing everything from kind of a sidearm position, throwing a little speed in there. But he's got something in his arsenal here. This is a true position player pitching. Our umpire's loving it just as much as we are. The Owls are not.
Yeah.
The 0-1.
Oh.
Oh, and that's going to hit him.
I think you got to rush them out after that. I mean, that was just going way too fast. Hit him in the shoulder.
I'm surprised that's not going to leave more of a mark than it looked. I'm surprised he's able to stand over on first base there. So digging in now is Scotty Diekman. As Reese wants a radar gun here. Going to throw back over to first base.
Look at that's not a balk.
And this is what this is all about. Having some fun. Having a fun night. As Hackbarth is definitely enjoying his time out there. As that's a broken bat.
The heat broke the bat right there.
A slow roller, and able to make the play is the second baseman, Zach Will, on the quick flip. And that's the first broken bat I've seen out here.
And who would have thought that come from a position player? You think maybe a guy like Anthony Casiola or Ian Askin. Askin throws 95. Nope, no broken bats from him this year, just a position player.
Hackbarth really ran it in on him there. As Sean Seal, the right fielder now, has a chance to face the dangerous Hackbarth.
Hackbarth got to brush him off the plate somehow. That's the way to do it right there.
He'll deliver home, and just in front of the batter. Doesn't end up hitting him. The boys are having a lot of fun out here. The 1-0 count on Diekman shows fastball, and that's got to hit the 70s there as he can sling it. Diekman, traditionally, when he's out here playing, or Hackbarth, excuse me, typically an infielder. And that one's going to be a base hit through the hole on the left side. Runner will stay at third base. So Tomlin moves up after a base hit. So Hackbarth in trouble now. Might end up giving up his first run. Never want to have an ERA of infinite. He'll have to sit down the third baseman, Jack Weaver, if he wants to get out of the inning. He'll kick and deliver and show a fastball down in the dirt. He's definitely got some speed on it when he does decide to cork it back.
I'm very surprised Sean Stevens throw Hackbarth tonight. I'd feel like he'd throw him both legs of the doubleheader tomorrow as well. I'm surprised him throwing him out tonight as well.
Nah, you got to save him for special situations like this one.
Yeah.
That's a nicely located 55-mile-an-hour fastball.
Oh, come on. Give him a little more than that.
He slowed it down a little bit there.
Yeah.
Gun it back to first. Runner will be safe. Swing and a miss. Second strike of the at-bat. As Weaver down to his last strike here against the ever-so-dangerous Hackbarth. Fire back towards first base once again, making sure the runner isn't going anywhere. The 1-2. Swing put into play. Will is there. He'll kick it to first base. And that will be the inning. Hackbarth gets away, strands two. And the Copperheads will come to bat in the bottom of the seventh inning, as we'll be right back here to see if they can chip away at this deficit on the SCBL network. Welcome back for the bottom of the 7th inning here as Zach Will gets things started. The second baseman retired the side to in the top half of the frame, and he gets things started here against Gage Smith on the mound. Smith ran a fastball in on him for the first pitch as now we sit 1-0. That one misses outside, so now Smith, a bit of a two-way miss here to start. Got to find the location of that fastball. And when he does throw that fastball, he puts his whole body into it. A lot of motion, and when you can get that power behind it, you can get a lot of movement like that two-seamer had there as it catches the bottom part of the zone.
Yeah, big spin rate he has on that fastball. You can see a lot of movement on it.
The 2-1 here. As Will lays off of that one, and it ends up catching a part of the zone. Count now evens up at 2-2 as Smith looks to pick up where he left off in the last inning as he was ever so dominant, clearing 3 straight Copperheads out. Breaking pitch is caught on, but it'll stay in play. Into shallow left field. Under it and making the play is Sion Barnett, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So Robbie Brown, the center fielder, will be next on the docket for the Copperheads. Brown made a couple good plays out there in center so far tonight. We know he's got the speed. We'll see what he can do with the bat here. As Smith has retired 4 straight now. First pitch is a breaking pitch that catches an outside part of the zone. Smith has really liked painting his corner so far, and he's been fantastic at doing so when he's been able to find his location. The 0-1 from the belt. Breaking pitch. As it looked like Brown was waiting on that one a little bit. Still a little bit too early on as he fouls it down the third base side. Count runs 0-2.
And really, both Owls pitchers tonight, Reynoso and Smith, they don't have the greatest breaking stuff, but they've been able to put their fastballs in good places on the corners, and that stopped the Copperheads from only putting up 1 run tonight. As there we go, the camera battery for the second time tonight. And that fastball will be outside for a ball. 1-2 now.
That one just missing the outside half of the zone. So first ball of the count here for Smith. Looking to stay alive is Brown. Smith waves off the first 2. Now he'll give the nod. Kick in from his head height and a breaking pitch that catches the top part of the zone but fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Fighting battle here for the center fielder Robbie Brown. Copperheads need 6 in the next 3 innings to tie this one. That's if the Owls don't tack on any more. Smith has his pitch. The kick and the delivery. Breaking pitch and a hard swinging strike as Robbie Brown is sat down and 5 straight are retired for the big right-hander as Gage Smith looks to continue his dominance. Looking like some arms warming up in the Owl bullpen or just playing a little catch. Noah Caldwell is out there for the Owls, so we'll see. We will see if he will have any action here tonight as the first pitch thrown to our new batter, James Oman, goes for a strike. Smith working fast, dealing, and that one's going to be hit out towards right field, chasing back on it and leaping for it, but over his head is Sean Seal. Digging into second is James Oman, and he's in there with a stand-up double. That ball just kept floating and floating and floating right over the head of Seal all the way to the wall, and Smith, or Oman, excuse me, has himself his first double of the night, and Smith has given up his first hit.
Yeah, it looked like from our point of view, and obviously his point of view, that was going to drop, and it just kept sailing and sailing, never came down, and right over his outstretched glove.
Ball had a lot of spin on it. So we got our trusty camera back up and running now.
As we do see Gage Smith walk around the infield, and now we'll step onto the mound. As it looked like there was potentially some confusion on who's hitting right now, as one batter who was getting ready to bat was told from manager Sean Stevens that somebody else is up. And that person that is up is number 8 on the Copperheads, Owen Wilson. Wilson, a dirty jersey, playing third base over there tonight, has to make a couple big plays. And now here in a spot with a runner in scoring position to put the lead to 5 and maybe even 4 with a big bomb right now.
Yeah, Wilson, that leadoff guy, looking to get something rolling here. Nobody holding the runner on, and that's a fastball that runs in on the hands of Wilson. 1-0. Just trying to find some kind of runs in this game so far, as the pitching has dominated since the top of the second inning. The Owls struck first with 5 in the top of the first, one of those being a 3-run blast by the right fielder Sean Seal. But we haven't seen any scoring since the second, as Wilson waves through a fastball. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that was interesting because normally Owen Wilson would be up, and whoever that thought was going to get up to the plate, they talked to the manager and kind of looked distraught, having to walk back to the dugout thinking they were going to get an AB in there.
I think there was a little bit of confusion on who was up next because of the substitutions to the second hole hitter.
Yeah.
As Wilson is slotted in at the first. He was the leadoff man tonight. And a breaking pitch he thought was too far outside, ends up going for a strike, catching the bottom outside corner of the zone. And the count now moves 1-2, so Smith 1 strike away from getting himself out of a jam. Temperatures dropped a bit, but the humidity has stuck around. It's 81, but it feels hotter than ever with the humidity in the air tonight here in Concord. As the Copperheads trying to find something here. Smith working out of the stretch. Looking to his glove. Take his pitch. Now he'll kick and deliver. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Sat down on strikes, and the emotion is shown from Gage Smith as he gets out of a jam. So Wilson walks back to the dugout in frustration, and so do the rest of the Copperheads. The Owls celebrate as we head to the top of the 8th inning as they look to add a few more insurance runs onto their 6-run lead. We'll be back with Zane on play-by-play here in just a minute.
And we are back here as the man of the people is back onto the mound for the Copperheads, Jaden Hackbart. To see what lob went in there.
How does that not go for a strike?
I don't know, man.
How does that not fall for a strike?
I mean, halfway there, it's about 20 feet in the air, and then when it gets there, it's in the strike zone somehow. As now a little bit lower, lined into center field, and that ball will drop in front of the Copperheads. Man in center, Robbie Brown. So Hackbarth having to face some adversity here in his second inning of work.
We'll see how Hackbarth responds, as his first batter in the last inning, he was able to get a K. This time it turns into a single, as
Now batting the second baseman, number 6.
Cam Graham, the second baseman, now up for the Owls.
Hackbarth will lob one in there. Astadio can't find it. He'll fire down a second. That is too high into the outfield for Robbie Brown. He'll collect that one. Astadio couldn't find that one in the dirt. I think maybe the speed of that pitch threw him off right there. Just too fast for him.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this humidity is putting something into play here
definitely.
as well, because we're not even playing in my hands are sweaty up here. We're not even playing at the moment. So I can't imagine in all that catching gear behind the plate. I can't imagine how hot it must be down there.
And that one high for ball 2. Astadio coming from Florida and will play his college baseball in Florida as well. So maybe he's used to it playing travel in high school this past season. But it's still very humid tonight. That one.
You can get used to the humidity, but you can't do anything when you can't get a grip on your hands.
Yeah.
So 3 straight balls now from Hackbarth. Shakes off 2 pitches. Now he'll deliver the 3-0.
That one outside for a strike, 3-1. Just a note, nobody warming up in the Lake Norman bullpen.
Oh, and why would you?
Yeah.
Hackbarth has been dominant so far.
Swing and a miss, and back-to-back strikes from Hackbarth. Just 1 strike away from getting the first out of the inning and his second potential career K.
And Hackbarth, look at him knowing the situation. 3-1 count, get a little two-seamer that moves a little bit to the outside.
As that one will be fouled off. And one of the ball boys will run and attend to that one.
And listen, just because you're being given meatballs doesn't mean that you can hit them every time.
Yeah.
The full count pitch here.
That one is way too high, and Hackbarth will walk his second straight batter, or excuse me, his first batter. The first person who got on was a line drive single up the middle. So now 2 runners on for Alec Yunt, the shortstop tonight for the Owls. Hackbarth having to deal with runners at first and second. That would be a strike right there on the inside part of the plate. And Yunt will have to step out of the box and get ready for the next pitch. No outs in the inning. Copperheads still down 7-1 in this ball game. Swing and a miss. Or excuse me, a swing and a foul. As that looked like Astadio almost controlled it there, but tipped on to his gear and over to the backstop. So Hackbarth, the pitcher's count right here, 0-2. Will shake off a pitch and then gets a sign from Astadio. 0-2 pitch outside. Great job, Astadio, blocking that one up right there, and that saves from having 2 runners in scoring position. So now 1 ball is 2 strikes. Hackbarth delivers, and that's a swing and a miss. A foul tip, and the first out of the inning as Hackbarth continues to roll on here. Getting out after out.
Striking Alec Yunt, no less, the leadoff batter.
And now left fielder Sion Barrett will step in. Excuse me, yeah, Barrett. That one outside for a ball. As just a reminder to tune in tomorrow night. It won't be a 7 o'clock start. It'll be a 5 o'clock start for the first game. And then probably about 7:45, 7:50 is what we had last weekend for the second game of the doubleheader. As that will be a ball.
14 innings of baseball out here for you tomorrow. 2 7-inning doubleheaders as the Kingsmen come back to Cox Mill High School.
And that will be lobbed in there, and not a strike right there, but that looked pretty good. So Hackbarth having to deal with a 2-0 count, 2 runners on. That one will have a little more heat on it and be fouled off.
Count now sits at 3-1. Looking to get Barnett out here. Runner still standing on second base. 1 out in the inning. Delivery, swing and a miss. Hackbarth with another K. Or excuse me, only the second strike. Got a little ahead of myself there.
David a little too excited for the Hackbarth potential K.
So I was misreading the scoreboard there. My bad.
And he did right there, so the strikeout will come sooner than later. 3 Ks on the air. Not that far behind from Giacomo's 27. He'll get there possibly by the end of the night. We'll hope if this thing goes into extra innings, he might be able to get there.
That is a lot of baseball.
As just an update for everybody across the SCBL, there's a doubleheader in between the Athletics and the Vipers. The A's took the first game of the doubleheader 10-8, and right now on the top of the second one, 2-0, and then going to Moore Park up in Mooresville, North Carolina, up in 77. The Kingsmen up 4-2 on the road as the Kingsmen prepare to face the Copperheads tomorrow night.
That's a big game for the Kingsmen.
Now will be popped up as Cassidy will look for that one, tracking towards the fence, and he will get the 3rd out of the inning. Great awareness and not run into the wall right there. And that'll be the 3rd out as Hackbarth goes 2 scoreless. We'll see if his offense can get on the board and make this game closer. Only 6 outs left for the Copperheads. And welcome back here as we have a new pitcher for the Owls. The Surrey College product, Noah Caldwell, 6'1", 180 out of Catawba, North Carolina. 8 appearances last season, 2 losses, 15 1/3 innings pitched with an 8.22 ERA and 12 Ks. As we did see Dario Asadio potentially warming up in the bullpen as that one runs up and almost gets him. As we would love to see Asadio come out there and some more position players pitching as we saw. As who would catch for him? Well, there's also 2 other catchers on the roster, but I don't know if he would want to activate any of them. Maybe saving the other 2 catchers for both games tomorrow night, as you would think he would run through all 3 in 3 games in 2 days.
We'll see what happens here as the Copperheads still eligible to be pitching mainly position players on the mound. A good bunt laid down, however, will roam into foul territory to move us into a 1-1 count.
Talking about that big tournament that's coming up for the SCBL teams and a lot of other teams on Monday, June 27th and Tuesday, June 28th at Liberty University. It's the Southeast Prospect Collegiate Showcase. 4 leagues there. You have the FCSL, then you have the Hampton League, of course, the SCBL, and the Sun Belt League going to participate in that tournament up there in Virginia. All part of the NACSB, the National Alliance of College Summer Baseball. As that will be foul tipped, as the SCBO, one of the members of that organization.
I'll be lucky enough to be heading up there to watch those games, do some broadcasting with some of the other guys from the other leagues. So should be a fun time up in Lynchburg. It's a beautiful baseball stadium that the Flames have. So looking forward to it and looking forward to seeing a lot of good competition as there's a ball hit right back up the middle, bounces off of his glove, off his back, fires towards first, and able to make the play. Very good recovery from Noah Caldwell. As that ball hit his glove, bounced off his back, he did a little spin, was able to collect it and fire over to first in time to get Lure.
That's the second time we've seen tonight a Owls pitcher getting hit by a ball up the middle, and luckily that one not coming too fast and hit him right in the glove, and that tampered down the speed of it, then got him a little bit in the back, but they'll go for the first out of the inning. One out of the inning. Owls still up 7-0. That would be a strike.
And you can see how much movement that had on it as Guzman was sitting there moving his hands and his chest out of the way, and that one slid over the strike zone. So, fooled Jeremiah Guzman.
Guzman watched that one go in the dirt. And just an update to the Lake Norman Copperheads roster. They have another pitcher coming in, Grayson Barge out of Erskine College down in Due West, South Carolina, coming up and adding to that depth that manager Sean Stevens, when I was talking to him, he said that the pitching depth is not where he wants it right now, but that's the way it is. And another guy in that rotation will help him out with an extra arm. But he got Jaden Hackbarth maybe in the rotation tonight, so you never know. He'll come out again. That's a big swing and a miss for strike 2.
That's been 3 straight pitches that have all been that side-winding movement that's moved from his right to left, our left to right, that has caught the outside part of the plate or had Guzman swinging.
Yeah. Just an update on Barger. He played at Erskine College last year, but right now in the transfer portal, he'll be one of 3 Lake Norman Copperheads players that are on the portal right now looking for their homes the next college season before the fall ball starts up. As I bet we'll see some of those guys committing during this season. Full count, 1 out of the inning. That'll be swung on into right field. Popped up. Will that ball drop? No, as that is a tracking play from the second baseman, Cam Graham. Graham batting in the 10-hole tonight and tracks over to get the second out of the inning. As we have a new player up to bat, as we said, Dario Cedillo was warming up over there. And it was Andrew Schultz that is stepping into the box. Schultz apparently going to catch for Astudillo, as there's only 2 other catchers on the roster besides Astudillo. Schultz, a product of Campbell University. Played his high school baseball at nearby Huff High School. Schultz so far this season, 18 at-bats with a .500 average. 9 hits, 4 RBIs with 2 stolen bases. Coming off a 2-hit game his last time out. But he's up in the count 2-0 here, so another chance to extend that hitting streak and bump that average up from 500 to even more.
Yeah, he got to the Copperheads a little later than everybody else, but he has made it a great impact since he's been here. So he's up 3-0 in the count. And he'll watch a strike go by as that just caught the outside corner.
Yeah, Campbell making that great run to the in-state tournament, winning their conference and then playing Reese's team, Tennessee. in the regional, but wasn't able to come out on top as Tennessee, the #1 team in the nation, showed why they were in that regional. As he will take ball 4.
That's a hard pitch to take on a 3-1 count. That ball, you've seen the movement from Caldwell so far and how his sliders have moved. That's such a hard pitch to take as it's on the inside. It looks like that's going to slide right over the right over the plate, and it ends up being a 2-seamer that stays inside. So Kyle Whitaker up with 2 outs. Runner now standing on first base, and any runs here would be pivotal for the Copperheads.
Yeah, Whitaker had that bloop single last time up as he will swing on the first pitch and miss it for strike 1. Whitaker out of Keystone College going into his junior season there. So the count 0-1, 2 outs in the inning. That one would be low. Count even up 1-1.
Once again, if you are not following us on Instagram, Twitter, all of our social medias, make sure to follow us at SCBL Baseball. All one word, no dots, no underscores. As we post daily updates throughout the SCBL and teams like the Owls who play in conference occasionally.
Yeah.
So far, they're 3-1 against SCBL teams. They've split a series with the Spinners 1-1.
The Owls, a former member of the SCBL as well.
Yes. Indeed they were. This year, they're just traveling around playing some indie ball. Just having fun playing random opponents. No home or no conference they can call home this year. But with a smaller roster size, these boys are just looking to have fun.
And the Owls, their season's already kind of winding down. Their last game will be on July 14th. So some of these SCBL teams early in the season, as that one will be fired down. As the runner will advance from second to third. As he will take 2 bags, I was saying earlier, their season ends on June 14th. So they're already winding down while some of these SCBL teams are still in early season action.
Yep, the SCBL here will run through July 30th with the championship games being held on the 29th and the 30th. Being streamed live here on YouTube. Still waiting to hear about a location on the ballpark. However, we will be bringing you all the action in whatever form that we can throughout tournament week.
Last season, that tournament and the Home Run Derby hosted at Moore Park. I think a Home Run Derby would be great here at Katzenmaier High School. Just the fences and seeing guys hit bombs. I think the winner had 5 last year, and I think it would be more like double digits if we had it here. As Moore Park has those towering wood fences, probably 15 feet high and a lot farther than what we have here.
I do like the vibe of Moore Park, though. I think it's a very suitable place to host a home run derby. I feel like the fences are about the same as out here.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little taller.
Definitely taller.
They definitely aren't super deep out there, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spinners are a great atmosphere to go catch a ball game. Kind of a different vibe than what you have here at Cox Mill High School.
Runner goes, no throw down to second base as a throw out would easily score the run standing over on first. Batter up at the moment as it looks to be Jake Tanner. So the shortstop batting in the 6 hole has not been phased out of the lineup yet. They've got trust in their righty as he looks at 2 balls in the dirt.
Yeah, we're talking about earlier how historic the Owls were. You know, this is a 122nd season. Spinners also a very historic team. Was a minor league team back in the day and has been along for a long time, especially at Moore Park.
Yeah, if you've never been out to Moore Park and you ever have a chance to get out there, it's a fantastic place to watch a game, and the Spinners put on they put on a show out there with all the pregame stuff, the Thirsty Thursdays, all the promotional stuff they do out there. It's such a fantastic event. If you ever have a chance to head out to Moore Park, you got to go out there, especially when the Copperheads are playing.
Yeah. They had a craft beer and food truck extravaganza tonight against the Kingsmen. Always something going on there at Moore Park.
Absolutely, always.
Just a reminder, Jake Tanner in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning, and 2 runners in scoring position. So a lot of 2s going around here. As that one will run up and get him.
Yeah, it was a breaking pitch that didn't slide enough and ended up catching, looked like the elbow of Tanner. So bases now juiced in a huge situation for the second baseman, Zach Will. So a really, really big opportunity for the Copperheads to cut at this deficit and possibly get back in this one. They've got a long, long way to go, but this will be a great way to start inching back.
Yeah, Copperheads only have 4 outs to play with. So you gotta get a big hit here from Will and also from Robbie Brown behind him and James Oman and start that chain. As that one was high for ball 1.
Yeah, Caldwell's control has been a little bit awry here so far in this frame.
Just an update, no one warming up in that Statesville bullpen. So still comfortable with their 6-run lead, but that could evaporate very quick if you're not careful.
We've seen how quickly the Copperheads can tack on runs, and we saw how quickly the Owls tacked on 5 in the first. Don't be mistaken. Don't be mistaken by the small frame. All these guys out here can go yard. And that's what's so cool about these leagues is even these guys coming off the bench that you wouldn't think are starters, every single one of these guys had to have been good enough in high school to be able to make a college ball team. That's the reason that they're here.
Yeah.
So while it may not be big D1 Tennessee, Alabama guys, as that is ball 4 and it'll walk in a run. So Caldwell still in a sticky situation as he walks him on 4 straight. So Zach will get the RBI, and that brings up the center fielder, Robbie Brown, as we'll have a meeting at the mound. And that will be all she wrote for Noah Caldwell, as we will have a new pitcher heading into the game, and we will be back with that information while he warms up here in just a second, as the Copperheads still have him loaded in the bottom of the 8th. Ross Pern is your new pitcher in for the Owls as he inherits 3 runners with the bases loaded. As the first pitch he'll deliver is a 2-seam fastball that misses high. Robbie Brown still standing in the box for the Copperheads as he sits with a 1-0 count.
Pern, a freshman this last college season, went to Huff High School as well as some of these guys out here. Had an 18 ERA in 2 appearances with 2 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 4 hits allowed. 11 batters faced this past season, as that'll be fouled off behind us. Count will run even 1-1. And we'll roll along the home dugout of the softball field. Excuse me, it's a 1-2 count. 2 outs in the inning. Pern trying to get out of this jam. I'll be inside, and the count will run even 2-2.
7-2 ball game here. Copperheads, 2 runners in scoring position. A long ball here would go a long way into getting back into this one.
And he held up on that one. The count run full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. A massive pitch here, probably the biggest one of the game, you have to imagine.
You can see Pernis holding his breath there. He thought he might have gone around, but he'll have to get back on the bump, refocus, resettle. He'll have to deliver at least 1 more strike.
Here comes the full count pitch. Swing and a miss. And the Copperheads now down to 3 more outs in this game. Has a great job getting out of that jam. Now the Owls still have that 5-run advantage. We'll be back here for the 9th inning. Stick with us for some more SCBL baseball.
Jaden Hackbarth is back on the mound for the Copperheads as he comes out for his 3rd inning of work as he looks to close down the Owls' side of the frame tonight. Big swing and a miss from the DH, Scott Metzler, as all those boys having fun, everyone with a smile on their face out there.
Metzler almost swung out of his shoes right there. He had a 360 after he whiffed on that.
And that one's going to go behind him, and Metzler can't be happy about that pitch. Going to be a little bit frustrated. But, I mean, when you got a ball going 35 miles an hour at you, I mean, you might as well try to take a big hack. And there's another one. Count runs 2-2 now. The launch angle is, or the angle is almost so high that it's like you also have to, like, you swing super up at it.
Yeah.
The 2-2. Put into play down to Owen. It'll bounce off his chest. He'll have to gun it down quickly to first, and a nice throw. A good recovery from Owen Wilson. As the Owls now 2 more outs left in this one for him.
The only thing I can describe Hackbarth as, it's kind of like when you play or like MLB The Show and you see guys like Warren Spahn or Cy Young have to wait forever for them to pitch, and that's what these hitters are experiencing right now.
Scotty Diekman stands in. He lets that one bounce behind him.
Come on, man. You got to stick your butt out right there and get your OBP up right there.
This is Gage Tomlin, excuse me. And Tomlin swings through one as these boys are looking to try to go yard if they can. It's like a home run derby right now.
Yeah. I mean, getting on base doesn't matter if it's coming at you at 35 or 95.
The 1-1 here from Hackbarth. Long leg kick. And that one is punched out towards left field, and it's going to fall for a base hit. Not too hard off the bat, but it ends up falling for a base hit. The 3rd one that Hackbarth has given up tonight. So now it'll be Scotty Diekman as he'll get his chance to try and pick one off a tee from Hackbarth. Diekman, the center fielder, and Hackbarth going to go sidearm on him. Showing some heat. It's the first real fastball he's thrown so far in this side of the frame.
I think they're all fastballs in my book, what he's throwing. The umpire trying to field that one right there.
The umpire said it hit him. And so I don't even think that Diekman really wanted to go down to first, but the umpire has to do what he was paid for tonight.
Yeah.
So runner will head down to first after being hit. That's one of those where it's just kind of like, forget about it. Let me stay. I want to stay in there and have some fun. But rules are rules, and we got to stick to them, unfortunately.
I'm telling you, man, get that OBP up. Just take your base.
And a new count here for Hackbarth with a new batter, Sean Seal. He had a 3-run homer in the first inning and accounted for 3 of the 5 that went across to have a 7-2 lead up to this point.
I feel like if Steele connects with one of these slow ones, it's going to go very, very far.
Copperhead scored the first run of the game last inning since the top of the second, where the Owls scored 2.
And a just great complete performance by all the guys pitching tonight for the Owls. Carlos Rondoso, Gage Smith, Ross Pern. Just complete performance by the staff, and Hackbarth will throw a strike in there and trying to claw his way back into this count, now 3-1.
And all of a sudden, Hackbarth now, he's got him loaded, showing some frustration from the young kid. And so we will see what the next move is. If we've got another position player.
I feel like that's Astadio.
Are we going to have Astadio come out and pitch for us, or we'll see what the move is here? As we will have a new pitcher come into the game. And while he gets his warm-up, we'll figure out some information about him and who he is, and we will be right back with you for the remainder of this. Hey, Bubba?
Reese, are we in?
No, it's 36, yeah.
And we are back here at Coxville High School as we have number 36 on the mound, a mystery man. Just a reminder, the Lake Norman Copperheads pitching coach possibly could be on the mound. He played his college ball at Charleston. Played his college ball this past season, actually, so very fresh off the mound, but I feel like that's not allowed. That can't be, man.
Hey, I mean, it's not a conference game. I feel like anything flies right now. It very, very well could be.
1-1 count. Swing and a miss. He definitely has some heat behind him.
I feel like that's got to be. I feel like it has to be.
He's played high-level baseball. I mean, the CAA is no bad conference. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and the mystery pitcher gets a strikeout to start off his night. Trying to get this bases-loaded jam out. Trying to get out of the bases-loaded jam. 1 out to go.
So Ryan Smith is listed as 36 as the pitching coach. And, I mean, the boys behind the plate here who are shooting his radar seem to be having a lot of fun here.
I hope it's Ryan Smith. That's what I'm hoping for, man.
So he's throwing some gas, too. So unless we got a mystery man in a different number, it looks to be our pitching coach, or the pitching coach of the Copperheads, Ryan Smith.
As he was clocked in at 94. I feel like it has to be Ryan Smith. He played his college baseball at College Charleston this year. He's fresh off a season, especially a senior season where he had good stats.
I'm loving the development in this game tonight. This is just a fun night.
Yeah.
Because Ian Askin is 34, Astudillo is 35, and there is not a 36.
And apparently there is, because he's on the mound right now.
It's Ryan Smith. I'm not even joking.
It is Ryan Smith.
It's officially Ryan Smith.
So clocking in at mid-90s here. It's a little bit different from Hackbar's pitching.
Oh, a little bit.
Big called strike there. It moves the count to 2-1. Or 3-1 now, excuse me. That one fouled off, put into play off the 3-1. So Bryson Beber now runs a full count here with 2 away. Bases loaded for the Kingsmen. Big situation. The full count pitch. Outside, ball 4. Run will come in to score. And the Owls regain their 6-run lead that the Copperheads chipped at last inning. So they now lead 8-2. Cam Graham now into the game. Catching, and that's going to score another run as that one bounces off the glove of Schultz. And so that will be a passed ball. And 9-2 now for the Owls. So it goes as a strike, but not able to glove it was Schultz, and that's a big swing and a miss from Graham. Count now 0-2.
I'm telling you, Smith still has it, though. He's still pumping heat. Went 94. That's very impressive, I have to say.
Breaking pitch just won't catch the top part of the zone. So Graham stays alive. Batting in the 10 hole. If he were to get on base, Yunt would be up next. But it won't matter. Strike 3 for the pitching coach as he sits down the batter. Not before giving up 2, though. That last pitch recorded at 95 miles an hour, so he's still pumping some gas. But the Copperheads are here for last call in the bottom of the 9th, down by 7. They'll need a good few here to keep this one alive. And we'll be right back for it here from Cox Mill High School. Last call for the Lake Norman Copperheads here in the bottom of the 9th as they trail by 7. Looking to get the very, very big rally started is number 2, James Oman, batting in the 9 spot.
I'm just very curious where the spare jersey and he had cleats and pants and everything. He must have been ready for that. Had it spared just in case.
Well, he's still suited up. I mean, he's wearing
fair.
number 30, so he's suited up. So
Yeah.
I bet he just walked over and went, "Yo, I need a glove. I need some cleats." Or maybe he even brought his stuff with him. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he brings it just in case. Warm up with the boys. First pitch from Pern in the bottom of the ninth goes for a strike.
Yeah, it's not like a pitching coach, and he's not these guys' age. He was just in college, He'll be just one class behind some of these guys are on the roster right now.
Mm-hmm. Very close in age, so just getting to have some fun. That ball's going to be put into play, and a diving effort won't be able to stop it. Is the second baseman going to and digging hard, and he'll be safe. Sliding into second is James Oman with the double. A great effort from Cam Graham, but unable to come up with it as he kind of slipped on the dirt, slid right under his glove, and a very, very aggressive move from Oman to go to second. But it's his second double of the day, and that now brings up Owen Wilson, the leadoff man.
Now batting number 8, Owen Wilson.
And we're just hearing earlier, these guys have chances to prove their worth to the manager, Sean Stevens, and Oman, a guy that's taken advantage of the opportunity. That'll be skied down the right field line and will stay fair. Foul.
And that was, I mean, we can't really see it down, but that looked just on the line.
Yeah.
Copperhead's base coach was signaling fair, but the home plate umpire has the decision at the end of the day. So a long, loud foul ball there as the count will move to 0-1. Owen Wilson going to take his time walking back, catch his breath. As he thought he had himself a for sure double.
Yeah. And those calls are just so hard to make, especially in the darkness. You might, as a home plate umpire, not know exactly where the line is. But nonetheless, he gets to step back into the box and count 0-1. He will rip that one down the other line, but foul again.
Count now 0-2 on Wilson. He'll take his time before getting back into the box as the foul ball collected out there. James Oman standing on second base with a runner in scoring position. Copperheads need 7. The 0-2. Swing and a base hit. It gets by the third baseman, Jack Weaver. Runner will stay at third base, but nevertheless a base hit from Owen Wilson. And the Copperheads have something brewing in the bottom of the ninth, but they're going to have to get a whole lot of runs here if they want to make it worth anything.
Now, David, we were talking about that showcase earlier. Where can people catch those games and see you announcing and see some SCBL teams in action?
So we will have the links to those live streams up on social media platforms here in the next coming days. Still getting the links finalized at the moment, but when we have those links, all the promotional media will be out very, very soon on the SCBL Twitter and the SCBL Instagram account, so stay tuned for those. Two-seamer called strike, catching the bottom part of the zone is Pern. Very good pitch to start it off. He's found himself ahead in all 3 counts now so far. However, has let both, or the first 2 batters get on base. We'll see what he does here with the third. Another fastball, and that's a very, very nice located pitch as it catches the outside edge and lure down to his last strike.
Yeah, Pern has been able to get those first 2 strikes, but that elusive third strike he hasn't been able to get, and we'll see if he can get it here up in the count 0-2.
Pern quickly working. Runner's going to go, and no one is standing there at second. Run will score from third. Advancing all the way to third will be Wilson. And so now a run standing 90 feet away. The Copperheads strike in the bottom of the ninth.
Now, it looks like it was a pitch out right there, and if there's somebody covering the bag, you have to believe he was going to be out there, but middle infield not ready for that one.
A little bit of miscommunication there between Tomlin and the rest of his infield. Nevertheless, 0-2 count still stands. Nobody out. Runner now on third base. Swinging a foul tip, so that one will stay alive. Count actually stands at 1-2, excuse me. So we'll have another break in the action as our umpire will walk over and collect the stray foul ball. He'll keep it for use.
We're definitely seeing some fight back here from the Copperheads, not trying to go down without a fight. Still no outs in this inning. 4-run deficit. You never know.
They're seeing Pern very well. We'll try the 0-2 one more time. And that one's fouled off over the screen down the third base line, so we'll try the 1-2 again.
Excuse me, it's a 6-run deficit. I forgot about those runs that the Copperheads allowed last inning.
And that one's put into play. Shading over is the first baseman. No one there to make a play at first. Is he out? They say he is. A bang-bang play down there at first base. We'll have to go down to our cameraman, Clay. See if he got a shot on that in the postgame.
I don't think we have a second angle, though, for the broadcast.
But that was a bang-bang play down at first base, and that was super close. But the umpire giving the out to the Owls, as no one was shading over to cover first base.
Yeah, the Owls catcher had to make a mad dash over there to first base. Eventually got there. And
So after some confrontation, the call stands at out. So the runner will be out at first base. The run scores on the ball put in play. So the score now stands at 9-4. As Guzman now stands in.
Just an update for everybody. The Lake Norman Copperheads pitching coach Ryan Smith this last season had 12 innings pitched, and one of those games was against ECU, who's also close going to the College World Series. And last season had an 8.25 ERA.
So base is now empty with one away in the inning. Copperheads have put 2 on the board, as the first pitch by Pern is right at the knees of Guzman and brings him out of the box. Pern quickly working back with the 1-0. And another ball running inside on Guzman, and he's little shaken up after that one. He hit the deck hard as that ball was up next to his eyes. So it's takes a lot of will and motivation to stand back in there after those 2 pitches almost beamed him. Pern got to recollect himself here on the mound.
Yeah, luckily none of those connected with him. Very scary location for that baseball to be around.
Pern back in, and that one crosses the plate, but too low. Count now moves 3-0. So at the heart of the order right now with Jeremiah Guzman in the 3-hole. He'll swing and foul that one off behind the screen. As standing on deck is Andrew Schultz, taking the place of Astudillo at catcher. So he's had a fantastic season so far. We'll see if he gets a chance to help bring the Copperheads up. A chopper down towards the shortstop, fielded cleanly off his back foot, and the ball sneaks away. Guzman's going to have himself a single in a very, very hard play from Alec Yunt. And Yunt had to throw off his back foot, didn't have time to take an extra step, and the speed from Guzman was all it took to get him the single.
Yeah, Guzman really hustled down there and beat out the throw. Great hustle by him and showing off the wheels.
So Schultz now going to get a chance to step in and do some damage. Batting .500 so far this year. He's been one of the most dangerous hitters in the SCBL. Pern working out of the stretch. And that's going to be a base hit. First one that he sees into right field. Ball slips under the glove of Seal. Runners will look to advance, and they will hold the ball at third base. Heading over to third is Guzman. So now runners on the corners. Still a 5-run deficit, but the Copperheads are showing that they can rally here in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, just keep finding ways to fight back. If it was that being out that for that infield single over there, just getting off the inside of the bat and getting it through the infield, as the Copperheads are just finding a way to stay alive.
There is now some action in the Owl bullpen, as we will see who's warming up over there. It looks to be Dakota Aspinwell. So we will see if it gets to the point where Aspinwell will need to head into this game. But right now, Kyle Whitaker, all eyes on him as he digs in for the Copperheads. First pitch he sees is a ball low, 1-0.
And we've been talking about before Kyle Whitaker's big frame, and he has a big chance to show off that bat, and a bomb right here would just be, I mean, so huge for this game and for the Copperheads.
We've seen the power that Whitaker can unleash if he corks one. The 1-0 from Pern. Another ball outside. These are borderline strikes, however. Gage Tomlin has been set up on the inside part of the plate this entire time, so with those 2 pitches running to the outside, he hasn't had a chance to frame him. He's had to leave his stance just to catch the ball. The 2-0 now from Pern. Runner will go. They'll try to gun him at second. It's a high throw. Runner will be safe. Guzman stays at third. Doesn't try to chance it at home, so now 2 runners in scoring position for the Copperheads, and a dangerous throw from Tomlin was thankfully collected by the second baseman, Graham.
One thing that stood out to me about Whitaker, this was last weekend when they were playing the A's and BP. A lot of these guys had big pops off their bat and big exit velocities, but you could see the difference when Whitaker stepped into the box, just how fast the baseball was coming off his bat. As that looked like it was low and outside, but the umpire likes it, and the count will run to 3-1.
Well, it's the same pitch we've seen the last 2 times, right? But this time, Tomlin is now set up on the outside part of the plate, so he's able to frame it a lot better. That ball was a little more inside towards the zone. However, the framing really is what matters on some of those pitches. And Whitaker gets a hold of this one out towards left field, running out of room, and gone. Barnett had to watch it fly over the wall as Whitaker gets a 3-run bomb, and the Copperheads are only down by 2.
And what I tell you, that exit velo and that pop off the bat is something else, and we saw right there. There's an absolute moonshot from Whitaker, and the Copperheads are right back in this ball game.
And all of a sudden, Pern has now given up 5 in the bottom of the 9th. 9-7 now. The Copperheads slowly but surely, after a big bomb, looking to bring this one back. We'll see how much longer Pern stays on the mound. But it's getting a little more intense here at Katzenmaier High School.
And if you remember, his walk-up song was Power, and you can see it right there, showing off all that power on that one.
Ixarino, the infielder, now batting. And that one nicks him on the back. First one he sees, and Pern has lost all control. He's lost his composure at the moment. And I know that was not intentional, however. Pern is in his own head at the moment.
And not the first time a fastball has run up close to a Copperhead's header this inning.
It's not out of his hand, no.
Ixarino with a 357 average right there, and you have to imagine the on-base percentage even better after getting hit right there. And now just one swing of out of the way from the tie ball game. I think we were talking about earlier, just getting a couple runs and being able to be that close in this game, and now they are. See if they can capitalize.
And that is going to be all she wrote for Ross Pern. He'll give up 5 in the bottom of the 9th, 6 in total, as the Owls will bring in their closer to see if he can finish this one off. 1 runner on for the Copperheads, only down by 2. We'll be right back with you for the dramatic finish of this one here at Katzenmaier High School. Welcome back as we will see the conclusion of this intense and dramatic bottom of the 9th inning as Zach Will now digs in, representing the tying run here for the Lake Norman Copperheads. Aspinwall, the new pitcher, on the mound, and I'll turn it over to Zane to give you a little more information about him.
Yeah, Wall had his freshman campaign last season, only one appearance and 130 innings pitched, but had a K in that short time span. Hometown from Mooresville, North Carolina, went to Lake Norman High School as Reese smiles over there, hearing the local man from his home city as well, Mooresville, North Carolina, as that one's inside, and count goes to 2-0.
So Dakota Aspinwall has been tasked here in a big situation to close this one out. Starting this inning, you wouldn't think there would be a big situation here, but the Copperheads have been able to tack on 5 in the bottom of the 9th, and they're threatening with more. The 2-0, ball gets away, runner gonna go, and if it was an accurate throw, he would have been out, but now he'd advance all the way over to third base on the errant throw from Gage Tomlin. So now the Copperheads, with a man 90 feet away, they've got 1 out to play with here, as only 1 away in the inning.
David, I think it's safe to say we have a baseball game here. We haven't had much of one tonight, but definitely have one here.
Absolutely we do. And we've got a good one as the Owls looking to hold on and not blow a 7-run lead. The Copperheads looking to move to 8-4. Both these squads sitting at 7-4. As that's going to be a walk issued by Aspinwall. So now stepping in to the batter's box, the center fielder, or excuse me, this will be the shortstop. No, sorry. This will be Xavier Baker in his first plate appearance tonight.
Baker, the winning run, massive part here. Coming off a hot game, 3 hits, a .238 average this year, 3 RBIs already, and trying to make it more here with 2 runners on.
Baker replacing the center fielder Robbie Brown, and the first pitch that he sees from Aspinwall is down in the dirt. Such a huge situation here for Xavier Baker, getting your number called in this type of a situation. Runners on the corners, your team down in this exhibition game, by 2. And he hits that one very high into the air. It will stay in play. And a diving effort made, sliding in at home plate will be the runner from third base. So the Copperheads will collect another run, however, down to their final out now. As sliding in at home,
I just have to say, a great play by Bryson Beber over there at first. Play shows sky-high pop-up, and so those are so hard to judge because they float in the air and had to dive out for that one. But eventually got it, and that's all that matters.
And that was above the lights here at Cox Mill. These lights don't go super high behind home plate here, and so that one was out of the lights. Had great awareness to be able to get that from Beber. I completely agree. So now the 9-hole hitter James Oman comes up to bat. Oman's got himself a pair of doubles here, so he's had some big hits. Aspinwall now tasked to get this final out. Either way, it's been a fantastic game from both sides. Going to fire back towards first base, looking to get the out the easy way, and back close. We have a pinch runner on first base. And that one's going to be a base hit up the middle. Moving into scoring position is the tying run, as James Oman 3 for 3 in his last 3 at-bats. And so now Owen Wilson back up to bat for the Copperheads.
Yeah, James Oman goes to Chipola College. A lot of big-name guys have gone there. Russell Martin, Jose Bautista, Adam Duvall, and he hit that baseball just like Jose Bautista, Adam Duvall. Great exit velo right up the middle. As now the winning run is on first base.
So we'll have some confrontation here And we are going to have, looks like a new pitcher put into the game. And it's going to be Scott Metzler, the designated hitter, who's going to come into pitch. And we're going to see what Metzler's able to do here. A very interesting move, I must say, especially in this part of the game. Is I don't have his information up right now, but doesn't look to be much of a regular pitcher.
Yeah.
So very interesting situation here for the Owls.
I mean, of course you want to save arms, but I feel like if it's this close of a game, if you're going to bring in a guy, you want to bring in a pitcher.
This is a very interesting move.
Or just keep the actual pitcher out there. But maybe they're thinking, throw off the guy's timing. They've seen a pitcher all tonight. You throw in a position player. You never know what the guys can see, and maybe whiff on one and pop one up, and that would be an end of the ball game.
It's a very, very interesting move. We'll see if it's able to pay off, looking to try to find something in play as Owen Wilson digs in. Wilson, his run doesn't matter too much. It's mainly the man standing over on first base and James Oman.
Wilson, not that many at-bats this year, only 8 in league play, but this is definitely the biggest one he's had all season.
Yeah, Wilson's played a big part in today's game. First pitch from Metzler, and that one's inside, ball 1. So Metzler still got some heat. But as he was playing DH today, his first time out on the field. The 1-0. Ball downstairs. 2-0 now.
A very big part of the game here. We see some fans that have been sitting down all game, rising to their feet, and seeing how this ball game is going to end.
One big hit could do it. The 2-0 from Metzler. Popped up in the infield, and this should do it, and it will. The Owls hold on. The Copperheads score 6, but come up just 1 short as the Statesville Owls pick up this victory here against the Copperheads 9-8. It was a thriller in the bottom of the 9th. However, the Owls come out victorious here, and the Copperheads move to 2-1 at home, 7-5 on the season, while the Owls move to 8-4 on their season. We thank you for joining us here on the SCBL Network and on the YouTube channel here. Once again, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. That's SCBL Baseball on Instagram, Twitter, and make sure to drop a subscribe here on YouTube if you did enjoy the content, if you've never seen us before or anything like that. But once again, the Copperheads come up just short as the Statesville Owls pick up the victory 9-8. As for myself, David Katzenmaier, Zane Metz, and Reese here, we are signing off. And we will be with you tomorrow as the Kingsmen come to Cox Mill High School for a doubleheader. We'll see you tomorrow at 5. Have a good night, everybody.